Doing a throw for the end zone. Touchdown. On Parker. Picked off by Xavier Howard. Tagovailoa trying to make up for it. Fires to the end zone. Touchdown. That's hard work.
What's good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and we are back for another one. I'm joined by the homies Martin, Damien, and Rhino, and EM's finishing his dinner, and then he'll be joining us as well. Mr. Ballgame said he may pop in too. What's going on, boys? How you doing tonight?
Fins up.
Fins up, everyone. Fins up. Fins up.
Shout out to Maho. Where did I get that intro music from? It's non-copyrighted music that the guy who made my video linked, and I'll be getting a new updated version of the video when we get into the season. Boys, how is everyone feeling we're 2 weeks away from day 2 of the draft. We're 13 days away from day 1. It's getting closer and closer and closer, and I feel like a kid in a candy shop. Like, I feel like Santa's coming to town right now, except it's Chris Greer in a red suit. So
I'm feeling anxious, bro. Anxious as hell, and really happy we're in such a good position that we are. I mean, I can't wait.
I love it personally. I'm ecstatic. Whatever word that exclamation points. Anticipation, like this is going to be one of the best, off seasons, the best drafts with the best, coming of age. Like we're about to run into something very serious as far as how we're going to be building this team moving forward, and it's going to start with this draft. And I can't wait for Roger Goodell to walk on that stage and say the 2021 NFL draft has begun. I'm ready.
I'm just nervous about pick 18. Everything else I'm comfortable with. I feel confident in pick 6. I'm just nervous about pick 18 and 36.
You were nervous when we were at 3 that that the Jets weren't going to take a quarterback. I told you, don't be nervous. Yeah. It's going to be okay.
You're right.
But I'm with you on 18. Man, we don't know how the board's going to fall, right? Like, I don't think Parsons gets past the Giants if he starts falling. I just don't. I'm a pretty firm believer of that. I also think another team that makes sense is the Denver Broncos. So I don't know if Parsons is going to be there at 18. But I think Azeez Ojulari is going to be there. I know we talked about Tevin Jenkins maybe at 14. Another player that makes sense to them is Kwity Paye. He could go.
Yeah.
The thing is, as much as I love Tevin Jenkins, I've been pushing that narrative lately. He, unless Elijah Vera Tucker or someone is there for the Raiders, I don't know if Tevin Jenkins is going to make it to 18 as well. Yeah. And the reason why I bring up Tevin Jenkins is because we've already interviewed him a few times.
Yes, the Dolphins. Yes.
Yes, sir. So, and I think especially in pass pro, he offers a lot more than what Robert Hunt offers right now. So, you know what I mean?
Tevin literally brings with him this kind of like I call it like a mean streak. You know what I mean? I don't know who picked on him when he was a kid. I don't know, who tried to haze him in the locker room. But Tevin Jenkins plays football like someone just picked on him and his called his family out or something. He plays with such a rage, even in the passing game, that I'm like, I can't be the only one seeing this. So again, when that type of physicality and production is sliding in the draft, somebody's going to pounce on that. That's why I want the Dolphins to be aggressive, like how you were saying. I think we might have to be aggressive to get that type of player to if we're not going to commit on like a Penei Sewell, if Sewell is picked earlier in the draft. If we see that type of player falling, and he gets past like the Chargers or a team like that, I think we have to put all some chips in and trade up with the Vikings, because the Vikings can move 4 spots out and still get the person that they anticipate to get at 14. But again, with Tevin Jenkins being there between 15 and 17, I don't see him getting past any range after that. So I'm looking at the Vikings as
You're
the
so
trade
right
slot.
because the three teams I can't get a read on fully yet. Atlanta, but I think I'm getting there. I think they're taking a quarterback. The Vikings, and I know it doesn't really matter to us, but the Bucks. Like the Bucks have so many, like they don't really have a ton. That's why I had them take Levi Onwuzurike. They don't have a ton of needs. Like those are the three teams where it's hard to kind of, okay, they're going to take this because, they could use offensive line upgrades. In Minnesota, they could also use some defensive upgrades too.
Yeah,
I don't know where they're going to go, bro. And let me ask you this, boys. I think we can all agree because we're talking about it before. We don't think they're taking a running back at 18. Mm-hmm. Do you do what I did in the mock draft yesterday? Target a team like Indy at 21 and trade back up with that 36, offer maybe a second next year, and go to 21 and get in front of the Steelers and the Bills and even the Jets. People are the Jets because are they going to go into the season with LaMichael Pirine? I don't know, right?
Right.
So get ahead of them at 23 and target the running back of your desire because at 25, the Jags pick again, and that could very well be the Travis Etienne pick.
True.
I agree.
I'll do that.
I agree with what you're saying with the Indianapolis thing 100%. I think that would be a key spot to get in front of all those teams. I think the Jets. If the Jets are in that position, they're going to take a running back also as well because they can trust Pirine. Also with Minnesota, I think that's where you will probably see a pass rusher come off the board first. They need a lot of help on that defensive side of the ball. They lost a couple of people. Remember the kid that they traded for from Jacksonville that ended up trading the ball? Yeah. They lost him. They lost a couple of guys on that defensive side of the ball. They definitely need pass rushers. But you made a good point with Tucker still being on the board and also Slater. The Raiders need help everywhere on that O-line. So them taking Tucker at guard would not be a bad thing, or Slater because they can either interchangeable. He can play tackle or guard. It's just the thing is if those two are off the board, which a lot of people are projecting both of them will be off the board when the Raiders select. Then that'll put us in a log jam as far as getting Jenkins. Our pick, the Raiders picked before, so it's a dangerous game. That's why 18 is so key.
If there's going to be a run, of running back, it's going to be like you said around that area, the 20s.
Can I ask you guys something? Okay, we know they liked Etienne last year, right? We know Stoogsville was running the Clemson drills. Mm-hmm. We know there's a lot of smoke right now around Najee Harris. Mm-hmm. Are there smoke around these players because maybe a guy like Javonte Williams is in their sights?
Well, I hope so.
I want Javonte because he's big. He's a bruiser. And I think that would be the one that can complement our running backs that we already have, not counting Malcolm Brown because I am not counting him at all. He doesn't deserve to be counted. But I think he could really complement Ahmed and our other boy Gaskins, and give us that other dimension of that pounder, that bruiser that we lean on in the fourth quarter. That we lean on in the fourth quarter, and Tua can lean on through the whole game with the play action that will make Tua even more lethal. Something he'll thrive off of. So I'm hoping Devontae's the guy.
But here's the reason why I asked that too. We know there was a lot of interest in Aaron Jones before he re-signed. Mm-hmm. Am I the only one who thinks Javonte Williams reminds me of a more violent version of Aaron Jones?
As far as his run stop?
Yeah.
Yeah. He does. He reminds me.
Catches the ball just like him. If you go look, right, like I showed some highlights in the All-22 of him running deep routes and catching them right in the bucket from Sam Howell. Like, he's a good route runner, too. He's not a slouch.
He's a playmaker at running back, but he's a pure running back, though.
You know what proved to me about Javonte Williams, and this might hurt you fans. It was a big game. It was a big game, big conference game.
I didn't expect that,
and opposed their will.
And so did Michael Carter. Yeah, Michael Carter had over 200 yards in that game too, right?
Yeah.
They imposed their will. And like for backs to do that, that shows something because you're getting hit. They're coming after you, and it's your will against their will. And
that's facts.
And that guy really proved it, man. I mean, if we was to draft this kid we wouldn't. And I'm taking Ajayi out the picture. I think we ain't have a physical, imposing guy that can give you the factor of can take you to the house and bruise you since Ricky Williams. I'm not saying he's Ricky Williams, but I see those traits in this kid.
Hey, Damien.
Ricky can catch the ball.
Damien.
The backfield, and this kid can too.
Damien, he had the same exact 40 time as Ricky.
Jeez, man.
I'm just saying.
I don't think you go wrong with Harris, Etienne, Williams, Carter, or Gainwell. I don't.
Yeah,
it's all good. It's all good to me.
And honestly, the best thing about Williams is which is why I said I would probably have him as my number one running back. Is I watch running backs similar to how I watch quarterbacks as far as what makes them good. Javonte Williams has a desire to run the football, which is very rare in running backs. Some running backs run the football to get to the specific holes and spots and try to use their overall ability and gain their yards. But Javonte Williams runs the ball different. Like he runs the ball with intentions of
running through the MF in front of him, bro.
Right. And you can see
that guy chooses violence when he hits.
Yes,
exactly.
Like I love Najee, and he's physical, but he'll try and hurdle you. He'll try and around you before.
But Rhino, NFL evaluators are going to say, "Yo, cut that shit out,"
and
that's how you get hurt.
Yeah, it's not his instinct. I'm not saying he doesn't have it, but it's not his first instinct. That's why I love Williams, dude. He'll put his ass through the back of someone's neck, bro. He'll run through them.
No doubt.
And isn't he the perfect power gap scheme runner?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, my only issue with Etienne is he screams zone. He doesn't scream power the way he always bounces it out. I'm not a fan of his vision and patience. Oh, yeah. I think Arizona would be, too.
Yeah, Arizona, too. Those type of teams that run that type of offense would be perfect for him.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I still love Travis Etienne.
Oh, yeah. I would be mad taking him.
I think all three of those guys are first round worthy. Now, I know people don't want to take them in the first, but I think they are. My whole thing is, if those three guys are gone by 36, do you pull the trigger on a Michael Carter or a Kenneth Gainwell at 36 just to ensure you get your guy?
Well, who do you take first, Gainwell or Carter?
Gainwell to me is the best pass catching running back in this draft.
Well, there you go. I mean, it's something to weigh. I mean, wow.
And he runs he's very patient too. He's a very patient runner.
I was about to say that. As far as the film that I saw last time on the last show, Gainwell runs the football almost like his football IQ is extremely high as far as picking his holes, why he's choosing this hole versus that hole, why he's accelerating versus trying to cut back. Gainwell is a polished runner. So I would choose Gainwell over Michael Carter because Michael Carter is purely he's a polished runner as well, but not as polished as Gainwell. But Michael Carter's advantage is he has that home run speed where Gainwell has it as well, but he's not as high voltage.
Gainwell 4.42, right?
Yeah. He has that breakaway speed, but home run speed is where I put Michael Carter above him. But as far as a polished runner, pure running back, Gainwell is over Michael Carter in my opinion. And if they're both there at 36,
who's more physical?
I'll say Gainwell. Yeah, I'll say Gainwell.
Sometimes that Michael Carter kind of shies away from it.
So Gainwell's more of a pure runner, like you're saying.
Yeah, like
he's much more.
Gainwell will either try and make you miss, or if he can, he'll run through you. Michael Carter will strictly try and make you miss.
Okay,
right.
Gainwell showed me that.
Gainwell's better in pass pro than Michael Carter is. Like the efforts are with Michael Carter, but because of his size, he doesn't
win too many of those.
Yeah.
Right.
And plus, Gainwell was the primary guy on those Memphis teams. Like I remember in big games, like not this last year against SMU, but the year before that, it was a primetime game. ABC.
Yeah,
both
he didn't
of them
play
were
this
undefeated. Year. Yeah, both of them were undefeated, and he proved in prime time beating that undefeated SMU team. Memphis showed a lot, man, and he was the primary guy on that Memphis team. Both of them were ranked.
Which is surprising because Antonio Gibson was a clear weapon in that Memphis offense while Gainwell was there. So for Gainwell to take reps out of him, that just lets you know how good Gainwell was.
And Martin, other than James Robinson, we could make the argument Antonio Gibson was the best running back last year in the NFL.
Yeah,
That
As
was
a
those
a-
two
rookie.
rookies.
Yeah.
It was between
You're
him
right.
and Robinson.
yeah,
You're
man.
right.
And
Mhm.
Gainwell took the ball away from him.
Yeah.
Right. They had to give Gainwell reps just based off of the talent, above Antonio. So they even tried to move Antonio out at wide receiver. That's how good of a running back Gainwell is. So now we if he's there at 36 and we have a choice between him and Michael Carter, if I'm the Dolphins, even though the Dolphins kind of came out and said they're trying to shy away from players that opted out of the 2020 season, I would still take into measure that Gainwell is he's just a tier below the top cream of the crop of running backs in this draft, and you would want to take your swing at that to see what you can get out of him. So
And the only reason
Good
you
point.
can say
Good
he's a little bit below them, a hair below, is because he only has 1 year as being the alpha starter.
true.
Like if he would have had
True.
tape this year, he probably would have cracked the top 3, bro.
Maybe number one. Maybe number one.
Bro,
Potentially.
he was my number 1 coming in, before he opted out, dude.
Yeah. I like Gainwell. I like Gainwell.
Memphis needed him.
People just, you know what it is, bro? People are just prisoners of the moment with Najee Harris and Etienne and Javonte Williams.
Yeah.
it every year.
They had good years, man.
You know, you can't find a lot of even the broadcast footage of Gainwell on YouTube or wherever these people look for film. You
Right.
can't. You know what I mean? Like I have every snap of him as a starter in 2019 in my all 22 archive. So I've watched everything in this guy. The only thing actually I lied. I don't have the all 22 of the Penn State game.
That's an important game.
Bowl, but you can watch the
Yeah.
broadcast of that, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
So-
I believe so. Mhm.
So, you know what I mean? I have the broadcast of it. I don't have the all 22. But, the guy's freaking special, bro. But people are just prisoners of the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Which is crazy because I don't get it that they don't hold Jamar Chase to that same standard, bro.
Which they should.
They should.
But I mean, he's the apple of a lot of these sports analysts' eyes as far as who's the best wide receiver and why is he the best wide receiver. He did let me not hate on him. He did tear up the 2019 season when you have Justin Jefferson on one side, you still got Terrence Marshall on the other side. Thaddeus Moss was one of those sneaky good targets. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was clearly drafted at 32 because he's a pass-catching running back, and he still put up huge numbers. So that's why everybody's still, throwing the confetti at him because, nobody. If you have that type of talent around you and you're still putting up, gaudy numbers, that does. You have to take into consideration, that dude is actually that good. However, if you were that good, I would have came back for another year just to stamp, for sure, almost like a Larry Fitzgerald at Pitt. Everybody knew Larry Fitzgerald was the best wide receiver. He even got Heisman.
Yes, he did.
Votes because that's how good he was. So he could have sat out that last year in 2003, but he decided, you know what, let me let it be known, because there's other receivers like Roy Williams coming out of Texas. There were other guys that were trying to get that top spot, but he clearly, put the stamp on it his last year. Like, no, I'm the best wide receiver. So I would have wished to seen that from like a Jamar Chase. But again, we're in a different scenario altogether when it comes to, draft stock getting put on you, and you don't want to lose the stock if you play and yada yada yada. But I believe if I was Jamar Chase, I would have tried to attempt like almost like a Terrace Marshall to play, just to let it be known. Look,
you could have opted out this season, Martin. You could have said, "Yo, I'm balling out. We're not winning. I'm out."
Right.
Go prep. You know what I mean? No one would have held that against you, bro.
Right.
Florida-born, Kentucky-grown, $5 said, "How about Toge as an edge? I think he'd be great. 6'2", 190, 40 reps on bench, quick first step, powerful." Are you talking about Tommy Toge from Ohio State?
I think he's 290.
He's like 300 pounds.
Yeah, I
Isn't he?
think he made a typo.
Yeah, that's all. Just
Yeah,
a typo.
he wouldn't be an edge in our defense. He would be an end, right? You got to remember, like in our base. I'm talking about our base because I know Kevin Dern's listening. You know, we go in the diamond, we go in all these different. We give all these different looks. 4-3. He would be an end. He wouldn't technically be an edge in our 3-4 base, if you want to call it, because of his size. I wouldn't sit there and call him an edge, right? An edge in our is basically. An edge in our system is an outside linebacker. So
that's true.
Yeah, he's a little big, right?
Yeah, he's a down hand in the ground defensive line.
Yeah, great tech.
And to get back what we were talking about, don't be surprised we don't take a running back, guys. I know it kills everyone, but don't be surprised.
Where
at 18?
Anywhere, because like they it's like Larry says, it's not a need. It's not really like an extra. We do need it. I agree with that, but they may not agree with that mindset. They may think they're okay unless they get value.
Oh, you're saying if we don't take a
period,
running back.
None. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said don't be surprised if we do take a running back.
No, don't. If we don't.
Oh, bro, Meanie, I'm talked about that today. I think I've talked to a couple of you privately about that. That's my biggest worry, bro.
Yeah, mine too.
Because I look at it. First of all, let's get out of this mindset of the Patriot way because we're not the Patriots, bro.
Right.
Exactly.
Second thing here is, okay, if we're going to stick with this offensive line the way it is, you better go get an alpha. That's going to make something out of nothing, bro. Okay.
Agreed. Yeah.
And number 3, you know what I mean? Like, again, we don't have even in our perfect example. Okay. The Patriots, when they last went to the Super Bowl, okay, they ran a committee, but Sony Michel was the alpha, right? Right? Last year, they were the 4th best rushing attack, averaging, I think it was like 146.6 yards a game. Who was their alpha? Damian Harris when he came back from injury. They had every committee has an alpha.
Blunt,
agreed.
Blunt, they had Blunt for a time there too.
Yeah,
agreed.
Now, as the guy who on any platform was the first one to call Gaskin turning into what he called and taking Balage's job, I can still sit here and admit I don't look at him as an alpha. Now, he could be because he runs. He's undersized, but he runs like he's 220.
Runs hard.
You know what I mean? But like
feature back.
Here's the thing, Martin. If Ahmed gets hurt, if Malcolm Brown gets hurt, and we got to rely on Gaskin.
I'm with you. I'm totally with you. But man, I they have me confused. That's all I got to say.
They're playing it well.
Yeah, they really are.
I like it.
Yeah,
it's hard to get a gauge on, man.
But you actually have to be this way when you're talking about 2 weeks away from, getting your big board together, executing, not hesitating when it comes your time on the clock. They have to be so, whether it be secretive or not showing too much of their hand, they have to do it because, teams are watching. Teams, I can only assume that teams have guys inside of their organization that are, scouts for other teams. Make sure you watch all of their, their news reporting. Make sure you watch all of their potential targeted, prospects, and then they have to report back saying, "Hey, I'm hearing this, that, and the third about this team, so we might want to try to talk to this team before them." Like it's best to have, your cards to yourself if you're the Dolphins, considering nobody likes the Dolphins, bro. Nobody wants the Dolphins. I'm not saying it's true, but it feels like nobody wants the Dolphins.
All the media's in New York, so they're all Jets and Giants fans, right?
Yeah. No. I'm just saying, man. Nobody wants the Dolphins to do well, and even from this past season, everybody was trashing Tua, but literally a calendar year prior, it was tank for Tua. It's like, nobody wants the Dolphins to do that well, man. But again, we have the right pieces in place. We have the right coaches in place. The front office is very, they're together. So again, I'm not overly happy that we don't know exactly what we're doing, but I'm sure that with them being this discreet, they know exactly what they're doing. So I'm cool with it.
And like my thing here too is, if anyone watched Tua at Alabama, and if anyone knows anything about like rookie quarterbacks, the running game is essential. If we're going to be running the RPOs and the screens heavy in this offense, like it's rumored right now, you need to get that running back. Like, I don't look at anyone on our roster as the ideal RPO back right now.
Mm-mm.
I don't even look at anyone in our like as an ideal you want to run a lot of screens with.
No, not too many. There's some in this draft. There's some in this draft that they probably have their eyes on, but
Najee, Carter,
Gainwell,
Etienne, Gainwell, yeah.
Williams can do it too if you want.
Like,
so that's my thing, man. I keep going back to this game every time we talk about the running game. You go watch that LSU game, right? They put it on to his shoulders, right, in the first half. Second half, they involved Najee, and look what happened. Yeah,
it opened everything else up.
You know? You got to be able to keep teams honest, man.
I mean, you could even see that this past year with the Dolphins. I remember saying it a couple podcasts earlier. Tua's most successful games, highly efficient games this year with the Dolphins was when our running game was actually producing, yards, like chunk plays and just moving the chains. And when we have that running game, it literally it reassures Tua, I don't have to go out and win this whole thing by myself, because Tua knows, and we can see Tua knows that he's not quite ready to take that step yet. Just like any other rookie would probably be in that situation. The Dolphins have not put enough around him for him to, take on that role of I'm going to take over. And no. You need to build that confidence through consistent play and a trust in your teammates and things like that. He hasn't built that yet. So he can't have that on his shoulders. But again, when you have a running game that consistently churns out 3 yards on first down, every now and then you break like a 15 to 20 yard gain, that helps Tua calm himself down and say, okay, now let me go ahead and execute these play actions and my bootlegs. And trust me, everything is predicated for Tua's most efficient games when the run game is just highly effective. And I think the Dolphins know that, and I think they need to address that early in this draft as far as getting one of those running backs that can produce that form on every play.
Prime example, imagine if we'd have had that primary back that could get you an automatic 3.5 on every carry. That Kansas City game, we're up 10-0. Imagine the pressure that would have took off Tua in the offense. Imagine being able to spell the defense and keep that offense off the field so it can
Bill Seattle game.
Yeah, Bill Seattle game. Or even the Denver game. What's the best way to slow down that pass rush? Create a running game.
Right.
That factored into a lot. And especially with the team, with a young quarterback, with inconsistencies at the skill positions because our guys were hurt. And we were mostly a defensive team who excelled on defensive special teams. What's the recipe for a team like that with a young quarterback? Defensive special teams is what you depend on. A running game. Teams have one like that. But you have to have that element, which is a running game.
I agree.
We probably lost at least 2 games. At least 2. The Denver game and possibly the Kansas City game with lack of running game.
Yeah, because in that Denver game, they could just pin their ears back onto it.
And it's so easy to rush the passer. Guess who else that would have helped out? That would have helped out Austin Jackson. That would have helped out Hunt.
Oh, yeah.
True.
Yeah, because Hunt's a disaster in pass pro. I don't care what anyone tries to tell me, bro. But he's a beast in run sets.
Yeah,
monster.
Which would have gave him confidence.
For blocking, for pass blocking. You're right. Eventually.
We gotta that puts us back at 18, man. Pick 18. God knows.
If
David better be drinking to keep his nerves down.
Oh Lord.
I'm gonna have a pot of coffee. I'm gonna drink a pot of coffee that draft day. Y'all gonna see it. I am gonna drink a pot of coffee.
A pot of coffee.
Not even a cup.
I got some double barrel aged Mount Gay, Barbados rum, bro.
Oh
You
man.
gonna pull that out for draft
On
day?
that. Oh yeah, bro. I'm gonna be sipping on that stuff. $55 decently priced for rum, like dark rum, $55 a bottle.
Mm.
So we'll
Trust
see.
me,
Gosh,
we're gonna need a draft night, man.
The whole thing
There's gonna
is,
be
I got a 2-6. I hope I don't go through the 2-6, bro. Starting at 6, bro. If we take we take Rashawn Slater. Oh my God, rum and
You ain't
coke.
gonna make it through the first round, Reese.
You're gonna see me chugging over here, bro.
Reese is gonna be taking a break. I'll be back, guys.
Yeah, bro. I'll be all flushed and shit. Come back with the red face.
I'm just worried about 18, man. I'm worried about pick 18. I swear. Pick 18
Right
and
now-
turn to 36. But definitely
Right now, I got
pick
some
18.
Sailor Jerry's popping off right now.
Oh, Sailor Jerry's.
Love it, bro.
I think we're all nervous about 18.
I'm not. I can still see us entertaining a trade back because of like obviously we want to get the running back or whomever or offensive lineman, preferably Tevin Jenkins at 18. But let's say all of our options are gone before then. There's still a whole lot of defensive players, especially edge rushers, that should be available between 18 and 30. I would say if we have an opportunity to trade back, maybe 5 to 8 picks from 18. Let's say as far as the suitor, Cleveland at 26, you can literally still move back, get a couple more picks to use as leverage for later rounds, but still get a guy that you would have drafted at 18 regardless, but can easily fall to you at that slot and still continue to build and still find that guy you want at running back, whether it be early day 2 or mid day 2. So
You made a good point, Mark. Where does Cleveland pick at? You're on to something.
26.
They pick at 26.
Yeah. So Pittsburgh's in front of them, and the Jets are in front of them. That's the only tricky thing, because that would make sense. Because Cleveland, it would be a perfect suitor to trade up with, because they got top 3 offensive line.
Right.
They're good at the skill position.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive line, they're pretty good in. They're getting most of their they're getting Delpit back and Greedy back. So they're pretty good in the secondary. Maybe if a Micah Parsons there, or maybe they'd take a JOK, I don't know. But that would be a perfect suitor. It's just that the teams that are in front of them. Because one of both of those teams will probably take the Jets is such a wild card, because I can see the Jets, if Terrence Marshall or somebody there, they might take that. But
True.
Gosh, man, the Jets are a wild card. So it's
It's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough.
Because Pittsburgh could take a center there. That could be the first center to fall off the board. Because didn't Kelsey retire?
He did. Him and Mike.
Yeah, one of those centers could be where one of those centers could fall off the board, and that'd be a very important need for them. So they're not looking at it as maybe reaching, with the Landon Dickerson or Creed Humphreys right there, because they need a center. But I could see, gosh, man.
I don't know. I only know that I know some Pittsburgh Steelers fans, and all of them want Najee Harris. All of them. Sorry, Pyro. Sorry, Pyro. But all of them want Najee Harris. And if there's going to be a situation where, like Najee is potentially falling, and he gets to like 18 or something, and we're not completely sold on Najee, I think Pittsburgh will want to trade with us to solidify getting Najee, because Najee's a perfect fit for what Pittsburgh does.
That's a good point, man.
I'm saying as far as the run scheme, Najee Harris reminds me, as far as his run style, of a Le'Veon Bell, which was the last running back that Pittsburgh had.
That's what I've been saying, Martin. He's the prototypical guy Pittsburgh takes, man. If people didn't want to buy it, bro, people push back on me for everything. I got pushed back when I said in the season they're taking Wilson at 2. I got pushed back with the Steelers, and I keep saying, Big Ben's. This might be Big Ben's last hurrah. This
Facts.
is a deep tackle class. They might sit there and say, let's take a weapon right now, because Are they really going with Anthony McFarland Jr. as the number one guy right now?
I don't think so, because I even seen Anthony McFarland's dad. You know, like he was going back and forth with Stephen A. Smith, because Stephen A. Smith is a big Steelers fan, and even Booger McFarland on ESPN was saying Steelers ain't going nowhere, and his son plays for them. So I'm like, ugh. That mean
he play in Maryland? Did he come out of
Yeah,
Maryland,
he did.
right? UM.
Yeah.
Shit, I seen it. This kid. Yeah.
Like if we're going, boys, if we're going late round, I'm down for Kylan Hill.
I like Kylan as a sneaky good pro. Yes.
Yeah. I think he could sneak up. I know I had him at 14, but I wouldn't mind Khalil Herbert either.
Thank you. That's my guy. Thank you. From VTech. Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind him either.
And he's an older player too.
Yes, that's my issue. He's a graduate. He's not even a senior, bro.
Well, I'm talking about his like maturity though, you know.
Oh yeah, I'm just talking about like how actual old he is, bro.
Yeah.
Let's get him. You know, I mean, we just for his contract, that's the shelf life of running back anyway.
Yeah.
Contract, first contract,
which is why we don't want to take them in the first round. Preferably, that's the reason why. I mean, you know, we all say it and everyone believes it, and that's what the first thing comes out of everyone's mouth. That's too high for running back, and then I don't know. Sometimes people forget about that.
Yeah. Gosh, so we're going into the season with Malcolm Brown.
Nah, man, that shouldn't be the case, man. I honestly, there's still a lot of running backs in this class that can fall even to late day 2, early day 3. That can usurp Malcolm Brown as like the RB2. You can use like one of my guys is like Elijah Mitchell, right, out of Louisiana.
Raging Cajuns, baby.
Yeah, like he clearly looks like a guy you can draft a little later and compete in that running back room. Obviously, with Myles Gaskins being the head honcho, you know, as far as being there, he knows the system. He's a solid pro. Even if he learns under him, I can still see Elijah Mitchell eventually taking over as a feature back, whether it be late his rookie year or even coming around to the next offseason and then officially saying, you know, this is my, you know, position to lose and take over. Like Elijah Mitchell has rare, you know, traits as far as being a physical runner in between the tackles.
Yes, he does.
And that's exactly what we kind of need when you talk about that scheme that we want to implement in Miami. So I'm just saying there's still some guys that should be available, even if we can't get like a Najee or Etienne or Gainwell or Javonte. If we can't get one of those guys, somebody's gonna slip and fall a little bit later. And if Miami believes in him, and they believe in his propensity to be a running back by committee, initially learn under some pros, especially like a Malcolm Brown, who's honestly Malcolm Brown is an underrated professional. For obviously we kind of see him as a, like how you said, reason he's a, hey, I need 3 yards, he's gonna get you 3 yards. I need 4 yards, he's gonna get you 3 yards. Like he's that running back. But even outside of the lines, bro, he just seems like the type of person that will take a young guy under his wing and show him how to be an absolute pro. Don't miss any assignments, don't miss any meetings. You know, come in, work hard, put your head down. Like that's a good guy to learn under. I think we're gonna find a guy to come in and just put his head down, work, and eventually emerge as that number one. Eventually,
I want to piggyback off what you just said, Martin. Number one, I can say
Malcolm
Brown did that with Cam Akers last year. I agree with you. 100%.
Yeah.
Also, to go back on your Elijah Mitchell thing, man, I agree with you, brother, because number one, Louisiana, they played in some high-profile games last year because they were ranked majority of the season. They beat my man crush team, Iowa State, convincingly. And with their quarterback being a running quarterback, that was a run-based offense.
Right.
And that guy showed up. Him and the quarterback were the two primary weapons, especially him. And he showed up. They played in a lot of big games. I look at players that played for teams outside of the Power 5 conferences. I look at them as what did you do in the big games? What did you do when all the pressure was on, knowing that you avoided the talent? But how did you perform in those big games? And that kid performed in big games against big-time top Power 5 conference talent that he went against. And he was one of the primary reasons, not the primary reason, that Louisiana was ranked majority of the season. They were flirting with the undisputed season at one time. And that really stands out, man. You have to stand out when you're not in a Power 5 conference, and that kid stood out.
Agreed. He did. He did that consistently too.
Yes, he did.
Like it wasn't just one game here, one game. Nah, like every single game there he did something to kind of reassure you that he's at Louisiana Lafayette, but he can clearly be in one of these Power 5 conferences if he got the opportunity. So trust me when I say he's one of those running backs where a lot of people aren't. It's not that where a lot of people are sleeping on him, but he's not being exalted as much like the other guys because the other guys actually played in Power 5 conferences and they actually produced in Power 5 conferences. So they automatically have to put them in a specific category. But quietly, Elijah Mitchell might be one of the better pro-ready running backs coming into this draft. That if we know the Miami Dolphins, if we know that Tua works best as a functioning, highly efficient quarterback when the running game is on its P's and Q's, and you see an Elijah Mitchell, you see any one of these running backs that can get to that first wave of the offensive line, and he's gonna get up to the second level. If you can find that guy and he falls to you, we got to do it, man. We got to do it because again, obviously in their minds, Tua is going to be there for the next 2-3, plus years. But for a lot of these Dolphins fans, they want to see Tua do well now. And if that's the case, then we have to get to a running back, a running game now. And we might have to draft running back and offensive line relatively earlier than when we could have, just by addressing that specific situation.
I agree, brother. I agree, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. It's needed. That running back position is needed because like you can say with any position, like how they say with quarterback. If you got two quarterbacks, we really don't have one starter. You got all these bunch of these running backs by committee. You really don't have one guy. But you can say over a 3-game stretch late in December that I need you to carry us to the promised land. Or in a playoff game, that say for instance we're on the road in Arrowhead or off in Orchard Park, wherever, and it's snowing in clement weather, or in Baltimore or anywhere like that in clement weather where we can't throw the ball a lot, and we need you to take us to the promised land. I don't know if we can ask any of those guys to do that. I just don't know. They haven't proven it to me on a pressure situations. Gaskins bailed us out in that Raider game, but that had a lot to do with he made plays in open field, and the Raiders are horrible on defense. They're horrible.
They struggle. They struggle tackling. I agree.
They struggle. So we need that guy. We need that guy.
Yes, and like how you're saying, we don't. I don't see it in any of the guys that we have on the team yet.
No.
And as far as guys we can get, because I'm thinking about like the draft projection and where players are destined to fall, and where we anticipate, who's gonna fall to us at certain spots, like at 6, 18, 36, and 50. I'm just thinking in my head, man, like if we can get one of those running backs that for sure can go into Foxborough in December and grind out 100-yard game for you to put you in position to win that game, to potentially thrust you into the postseason. If we can find one of those running backs, whether it be in the late first round, early second, late second round, there's still running backs like a Jedrick, what is it, Dokes from Cincinnati?
Cincinnati, yeah.
Yeah,
Cincinnati.
he's a big bruiser type of runner, that's played in inclement weather situations where I can easily see him falling into mid to late day 3.
Yeah, it's injury concerns with him because he's played big time football.
Yes.
They play big time football.
they had a hell of a year this past year as well. So
they just lost what they lost in their bowl game, correct? That's the game
right.
they lost. The only game they
Right.
lost. They
yeah. So that's the other type of situation where I'm like, can we find that running back that can get us into those situations where we're in late December, early January, and we need, you know, the running game to really show up and get us, you know, a couple of these wins to just thrust us into a playoff situation.
And
we have to find one of those guys.
And in the playoffs.
And in the playoffs, yes.
The running game
is essential. Yes.
You have to be a double-edged sword offensively when you get to the playoffs. You can't be top heavy. I mean, look at
absolutely.
Even when they won in KC, they were still running the football with Damian Williams and such.
Absolutely. Look.
Right?
One of my favorite teams ever assembled in Super Bowl era history was the 2013 Seattle Seahawks, because
Marshawn.
They had Marshawn Lynch, clearly beast mode. What was the fitting name for him?
Yes,
they had a young, hungry, determined Russell Wilson calling the shots at quarterback, and they had a bunch of undrafted free agent receivers that wanted it as bad as Russell to kind of let everyone know, look, you missed on me. So what I'm saying is, when you have that type of offense going into any situation, whether it be them in Atlanta, whether it be them in the Washington game, when you have a running game, bro, that sets the tone, like a bruiser, like a Marshawn Lynch, that sets the tone in playoff situations, you literally create an oasis for a quarterback to just do what he does best. And in Tua's case, we have to get to the point where he's comfortable with being uncomfortable, meaning when we can run the ball efficiently, and we're at a situation in the game where, okay, the running game is not what we need to do right now. We need to put it in Tua's hands. We need to let Tua get comfortable with being uncomfortable, meaning let him wield his way into a situation where he gets us, like even the Arizona game, we're behind like a touchdown or something. He gets us the touchdown drive, and then he drives us again to put us in field goal range to eventually, put us up in that game. He did that because the running game was effective. It was working for him. So when you have that situation where the running game is gonna finish the game for you, but we just need you to get us up in the game, that's where I can see Tua actually rising to the occasion. But when you don't have a running game, it plays with your mind a little bit, like, man, so everything's got to be on me now, and obviously I'm not ready for that step yet. But again, we have to address it this draft, bro.
I agree with Martin 100%. The similar, like Seattle, that team was built young quarterback, and they had an outstanding defense. They had that running game to help the quarterback. Every young quarterback, besides two different situations with Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, and all, the difference is they have dynamic weapons at receiver.
Yeah.
Right.
Both of them have top 5 receivers on their team. Kansas City has a luxury to have a top number 1 tight end also. So take those out the equation. Any young quarterback, I don't give a damn who they are. Joe Montana, Tom Brady, John, whoever.
Joe Burrow had Joe Mixon.
Yeah, Joe Mixon, top 10 running back in the league. You have to give the kid a running game. Some type of running game that can say, this get running, it will threaten the defense and make a defense have to guess.
Gotta keep honest, staying honest.
But that's the thing. Obviously, last offseason they went after Howard, right? That was their plan. Then it's hindsight, right? It's hindsight. And then they got brought in Breda. We were all pretty much happy with that effort, okay? Yeah. Then they come in this season. We had Gailey, didn't use them properly. Then we have Gaskin and Ahmed, who came out of nowhere to kind of fill the holes, except for Howard's position.
True.
So I get confused by what they're going to do, because they obviously want a running back for everything that you guys are saying. That's why they did what they did last offseason. Is the answer Ahmed and Gaskin? That's the question. Or are they going to look for someone in the draft? Because they didn't look very hard during free agency.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, but they have to do it.
I believe the Dolphins put themselves in a position where they must address running back early in the draft, whether it be with our second pick, our 36th overall pick, or even the 50th pick. We cannot let a running back pass us at 50. If that were to happen, that would be one of the greatest disservices for this potential building around Tua and putting him in a position of success, because clearly the best position of success for Tua is to have that running game. Last year proved it.
But what if
Alabama
they feel
proved it.
Gaskin? What if they feel so high on Gaskin and Ahmed? What if
that would be wonderful if they can actually bring that out of them and if they can actually produce that. However, from what we've seen as far as our offensive line and how they play, and obviously injury concerns, it just makes more sense for us to address the running back position early, so we know for a fact the running game will be there. And when the running game is there, that's when we put our young quarterback in a better position to be successful. It's just we just have to use more of a not us, you and I, but as far as the Dolphins organization,
we know
they have to use that conventional common
I couldn't agree
approach.
more, but I just hope they see the same thing.
I believe they do. Chris Greer, even with the trade with Isaiah Wilson.
So then wouldn't Sewell be the obvious choice at 6? I mean, no, I'm saying if you have that mentality, if that's your mentality in offense, to me, there's only one player that stacks the way that Sewell does. Only one player. Okay, you might get an argument with Pitts. I can make an argument for Pitts that he can change the offense almost as much as Sewell, but I know Sewell will change this offense. So my mentality is like, what? It has to be Sewell, but it doesn't sound like it is.
And you make such a good point, Martin, because everyone forgets when Tom Brady won in 2001. Wasn't Antoine Smith the running back?
Yes,
and
he was.
He had 1,157 yards and 12 touchdowns that year.
Wow, that's getting it done, considering the type of offense that they ran in New England back in 2001. You know what I mean? And also, don't forget about Kevin Falk.
Yeah, Kevin
Mm.
Falk only they only gave him the ball 41 times that year for 169 yards and 1 touchdown. But like they consistently made an effort to keep, like, we talked about Russell Wilson, okay?
Yes.
Since Marshawn, they've continuously got the running game right? Chris Carson. When it started off with Carson, it was him and Penny, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Look at after Antoine Smith in the early 2000s, who did they target? They went and got Corey Dillon.
And Lawrence Maroney.
Yep.
Right.
They've always made an effort. Yep. Always made an effort. Go get that back that can alleviate some of the pressure and stress off of our quarterback. And I don't think we've done that yet.
We haven't.
Like, let's be honest. Yeah, they hit on Gaskin, but Gaskin was already in the system.
Right. Right. That's absolutely correct.
True.
That's absolutely. And the last running back that we had to do that was Jay Ajayi. Let's be honest. That 2016 year what was spectacular. Like that was the standard of what our running game should be every year. Now again, I'm with you, Damien. The running backs that we have in-house right now does not necessarily put us in the mindset of we can run the ball on anybody in the NFL. That's not the case that we have, at least with our running back group. Now, again, Rhino, you're saying if Penei Sewell falls to us at number 6, would that be the best pick considering what we intend to do with our running game? And I would say A+, absolutely yes. When you have a piece like that, as far as a bruiser as a run blocker, and not only is he an aggressive run blocker, but he is such a tactician as far as how he knows to progress from level 1 to level 2 and seek out destruction at any defensive back at level 3. When you have that type of blocker in front of you, that actually helps the running backs as well, clearly. And with Myles Gaskin being a guy that's a solid piece, And obviously we're anticipating, like how you were saying, if Miami just believes in those type of guys, if Myles Gaskin gets a Penei Sewell on that offensive line, and it creates that domino effect of putting guys in their rightful positions, right?
Right.
Now you're saying to yourself, okay, Ivan or Gaskin, now let's see what you can do with this type of offensive line. If Gaskins meets that requirement and says, I can be that
Jenkins
guy,
can do it too. Tevin Jenkins can do it too.
and Tev, that's why I said if we get Kyle Pitts at 6, we might have to trade up to 14 with Minnesota to lock in Tevin Jenkins, because again,
I just want 100 guard,
game,
bro. I just want 100 guard.
just kick him in.
Yeah,
I know. I know. And again, if we're gonna address the running game, it has to be one of two ways, if not getting both ways in this draft, meaning drafting that right tackle who's a super aggressive guy like a Penei or Tevin, and then drafting that running back that's gonna consistently break past the first level of the defense and then work his way until he's getting chunk plays like a Jay Ajayi back in 2016. So that's what we should build on.
Cruisin' Rum donates $6.99. He says it doesn't matter which running back we have. If the O-line doesn't create holes, it doesn't matter. Ahmed is a solid back. We must build the trenches first. I agree, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And
I agree too.
EMdolphinfan makes a good point. Yo, you need to come up here, EM. I'm a couple rum and coke deep. Where are you at? And he makes a good point. Flores has yet to establish his identity on offense. And you know what, EM? I blame Chan Gailey. Chan Gailey was that last year was the year to establish your identity. And Gaskin would go out and shred the shit out of the defense in the first half. And then we start in the second half, and it's Jordan Howard. Perfect example. Remember, they started shutting down Jordan Howard. Yeah. And then they what game was it? Rhino, you remember. It was the game where
Bills or Seattle.
They shut him down, and then because they knew it was a run, he was only coming out there for run situations. Remember, they started throwing the screens to him, and he got stuffed in the backfield, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it almost seemed like, oh, they know we're running it with him on the field. We got to do some passing plays out here to keep them honest. And it was too little too late, bro. Remember, he got blown up in the backfield on the screen?
Yes.
Like, I was more hyped about the Breda edition, because you guys remember before I denounced them as my second team when they made that coaching hire over Eric Bieniemy this year, how they did not hire Eric Bieniemy and they hired that yes man is beyond me. But when they did that and I denounced them, over not hiring Eric Bieniemy, basically, bro, I watched Jordan Howard. I saw the downfall of this guy coming. You know what I mean? Like, I was not a fan of that at all. We gave him a lot of money too.
Yeah. Breda made sense. Yeah, but
Breda made much more sense than Howard.
We didn't
use him. He didn't use him.
I think Breda wasn't used. He was misused. We didn't.
Yes.
And we'll put that on Gailey as well. Look, I will say this reason, and I agree with you 1,000%, man. Jordan Howard was he was not himself after Chicago. Chicago was where he stamped himself, put his flag in the ground. I'm an NFL running back. But after Chicago, whether it be mentally or psychologically, he was out of it.
He was never the same when Tariq Cohen started taking snaps away from
him. Right. Very, very important pivotal moment when they got Tariq Cohen, and he was just not even, special teams, receiving out of the backfield. He literally took over that Chicago role as far as who's our best running back, and it was clearly him. So I think that did play a part in his downfall mentally. But we got him to as far as a hope to see if we can get that out of him, and he wasn't there anymore. Like that's just what it was with Jordan Howard.
Yeah.
No, I'm just excited about this year, man. Coming back with the players we already know and established, they're going to be set. It's going to be a different season. I can just feel it, even without knowing what we're going to add in the draft. It's a good team.
Yes. All right, let's get into a few things because, man, we've been talking about running backs and it's fine. It's been a great conversation. Let's get into a few things. Let's talk about Robert Hunt a little bit because one of the key things, a video that came out. Let me just put it up, bring it up here. Miami. Was our international. What do you call him? What is he?
Is he a long
international player? Is he international player? Or like what he has a designation, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he's from Australia or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought he was from Brazil. Anyways, I think
he's
he
international.
is.
He's international. Bro.
He's international. We know he ain't from our side of the pond. Let's put it that way, okay?
Right.
And obviously we're talking about Derval Querez Neto. An interesting video came out, boys. Let's talk about this quickly for a sec here. And it was showing him. I know Martin made the joke before I went live here. Long snapping with a medicine ball. Mm-hmm. But let's talk about this here but let's look around him. The key thing to me is how they have Hunt and Kinley on opposite sides of him like guards. All right, so let's talk about this for a sec here. So here's the video that we're talking about.
Miami's right.
That was a guard move. Yeah,
it was.
Yeah. And there's Kinley.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll watch it one more time here. This kid's 28, man. He's old.
Miami set.
But is he here? Like, are the Dolphins slightly showing their hand again with Robert Hunt at guard?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Because, guys, he's been training most of this offseason
as a guard
with Kinley. They've been boxing together.
Yeah,
him and Kinley have been almost like inseparable.
Like
during the offseason. Yeah, bro. And I gotta ask, are they showing their hand? And I asked it even further, guys. They brought in Isaiah Wilson. Yep. I think we can all agree. You know, they took a flyer on him, but they took a flyer at him to compete at right tackle, not to be a swing or a backup.
Agreed. Yeah. Agreed. Yes, I'm with you. I think they're not, and it's not necessarily. I want to say showing their hand. I think is from the tape that we watched, from the games that we saw. Robert Hunt, he has not displayed the physical propensity to be a right tackle in the NFL, right? So if that's the case, and the Dolphins know that our best lineman should be the right tackle because Tua is our left-handed thrower. We need a right tackle as his blind side. If that's the case, then I think it is one of those situations where it's not too much showing a hand, but letting it be known, Robert, we're probably going to kick you in to right guard and find a guy to be a consistent piece for Tua, considering that we need him healthy. So it's not. And again, maybe Robert Hunt didn't want to hear that, or maybe he does want to hear that, considering how much he did struggle on an island by himself sometimes at right tackle. He's probably like, yes, okay, bump me in, and whoever y'all need to get, Isaiah, Sewell, whoever y'all need to get him in here, and I'm gonna keep doing my reps at right guard so I can get familiar being in that posture and position. So all these videos that are coming out with Robert Hunt, him and Kinley, maybe that is a guard to guard kind of relationship that they're trying to build, so that interior can be as cohesive as possible. Because obviously when you have a strong and cohesive interior offensive line unit, both tackles benefit from that. So I would hope that is the case, that they're just saluting the reality that Robert Hunt will be the right guard, and Kinley will potentially start at right guard initially, but swing over to the left guard, which is his natural position, and get that relationship going as far as that cohesion in the interior. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Yo, Damien, do we take a guard? Do we take a tackle in this draft?
Okay, I want to say this first before I get into that. One, if Hunt moves into guard, I will be happy, because that means this will be the end of Eric Flowers, and I will be happy with that. So Kinley and Hunt is my two young guards. I will be happy with that. My whole thing was always, does Flo want to move off of them at tackle? And if that being the case, then I 18. That pick at 18, because more than likely the offensive lineman that will go before Jenkins will be Penei, who will go in the top 10, Slater, who has a shot at going in the top 10, and Tucker. It is a good possibility that Jenkins will be there at 18. You take him. If you have to move up, you move up.
Mm-hmm.
I am, and then we just have to, you know what? Try at 36 or wherever to get the running back, if that be the scenario. And I mean, I would feel more comfortable drafting an offensive lineman at 18 and protecting my quarterback and keeping him upright than I would be for a damn running back.
What would you feel about either at 50 or 81? Because I think he might be there, even though he's my OT5. Thank you, Ryan Roberts, for showing me him, putting me onto him. Taking a guy like Spencer Brown, who's a natural right tackle out of the University of Northern Iowa.
Yeah,
he's an absolute monster in terms of size, the way he plays. You know, that could be an option too.
Agreed. From what I've seen of Spencer Brown, I would say the only thing, as far as whatever criticism it might be, physically, like his bench press and everything, he's physically strong. But on the field, I did see a few instances and a few reps where he was getting pushed back into the pocket, similar to a Robert Hunt. And I'm talking about like the Senior Bowl that I watched, like the actual game. I said to myself, okay, he just needs to get a little bit stronger, but his technique
is really good.
Footwork, eye discipline,
way he
his
moves,
hand
his
placement,
lateral movement.
Right. It's like, okay, yeah, that's the legit right tackle you need. Mm-hmm.
And you know what, Mark? You know what? In pass pro, technique is more important than anything.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You can get by. He can get by with that. Run block, he will get exposed.
You can maul and run block, right?
Mauling's easy.
As long as he has that technique down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is fine. That is
What about
fine.
Cosme?
Oh, I love him. I love him, bro.
Is he too high at 18? Is he too high at 18?
I think that's a little too high for him.
Could we trade back for him? Take Najee at 18, trade back for him.
Maybe.
Upper 20s, mid-20s.
I think Cosme will be there in late 20s.
There's so many options, bro.
That's when you're going to see it. The late 20s and top of that second round, that's when you're going to start to really see those tackles come off the board. Because now you're getting into the realm with like Kansas City, who wants to fill those voids. Teams that are like in win now mode that need those type of guys. That's when you're going to.
I just don't want Jalen Mayfield.
No,
I want nothing to do with Jalen. He seems like a lesser version of Robert Hunt.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't get what the love for that guy is. I don't. But like, guys, you look at Spencer Brown his pro day. You know, the guy ran a 4.88 at 6'8", 310 pounds.
That's ridiculous.
He had a 4.34 short shuttle and a 6'9", 6'3" cone, and he put up 29 reps of 225, and he has 35-inch arms.
That's what we need. I mean, we need the right tackle position for us. It's the left tackle. We need him to be the most athletic guy on the damn field.
Yes.
Blindside, baby.
And have
he's a natural right. He's a natural right guy.
And we need to have him. His technique needs to be polished because his blind
Is there any chance with a year under his belt and better coaching that Hunt could develop technique that will save our quarterback's life?
It's not it's not just technique, you know, it's the hip flexibility and the lateral movement.
Right.
The hip flexibility, that's one of those things you either have it or you don't.
Right.
You can't coach that up. Lateral movement you can work on, but that's going to take a couple years. Are you willing to risk the blind side for a couple years to develop that?
I think we're going to know by the end of day 2. We will have our answer by the after pick 50. I think we will have our answer on what Flo thinks and what Greg thinks.
And to double up on what Reason was saying with the hip flex, hip flexibility is literally like having speed. Like if you have speed, you have speed. If you don't, you don't. And in Robert Hunt's case, I would love for him to develop, but I don't think he's going to develop into a technician at offensive tackle versus at right guard. Yeah. Like he'll be better suited as far as if you want to improve him, he'll be better suited as far as his ceiling available. His ceiling is much more attainable and as far as reachable at right guard versus right tackle, as far as what you want to get out of him and what you need him to do on Sundays. So I believe Robert Hunt is just naturally better suited at the right guard versus the right tackle, where you have to have quick hips, quick feet, good punch, good recovery hands when a defensive lineman literally swipes your whole whole protection out of the way.
Uh-huh.
You got to be able to handle guys on the arc, right?
Yeah, right.
Right. Know, if you can't handle guys on the arc, which you can't, you're gonna have a freaking problem. Like
and it's either you have it or you don't. And again, I love Robert Hunt's aggressiveness. I love how he,
especially in the run game.
I was just about to say how he adds so much to the run game. It just makes the most sense to bump him in and get one of these guys in the draft, whether it be Sewell at 6, Tevin at 18. Spencer Brown at 30. Even at 36, I'll still take a Spencer Brown, because that's how important that right tackle is to have a staple there to keep building this offensive line. You know what I mean? So,
it really is.
Yes, sir.
I just ask myself, why would you waste your time continuing to develop a guy who's going to take a few years when you can kick him in and get probably Pro Bowl, all pro caliber play
this year? Yes.
That doesn't make sense to it. And here's another thing. Me and Rhino covered it when they had, Rhino will remember this, when Greer and Flores had the postseason
PC,
press conference, right? Flores was the most candid and open he's ever been about any position when he talked about the offensive line. And when he said, do we like the progress? Yes. Are we happy with where we're at? No. And do we really think, and he basically said, I think he said too, that they're going to upgrade it, right, Rhino?
I'll look it up. I believe that was the gist of it. Yeah, it wasn't like training.
Is Skura really the upgrade?
No.
Like, I don't believe that for a second, that Skura is the only upgrade that they're planning on bringing in. For 1 second.
I'll do it, man.
And they're just going to give up on the right tackle after Isaiah Wilson did what he did. I don't see that either.
Yeah,
they're just going to give up on that.
That was a clear telltale sign that they want to upgrade at right tackle. And there's enough right tackles in this draft to address it and make sure that we're still going to use Robert Hunt in that developmental stage of, you're still going to be on our offensive line. We just need you here to develop and find your niche in the interior, because I'm just saying, man, once this offensive line is complete, and I'm just hoping we get Tevin Jenkins just because of how nasty he is. I'm thinking about Tevin next to Robert and
Mahler.
and Kenley next to Jackson. That running game would be would like how we look at Gaskin right now. I can imagine Gaskin just running behind nothing but maulers and still producing like 100 yards a game. I can see that happening with Gaskin.
Yeah. You solve that offensive line, you'll solve a lot of things.
Yeah.
Ian Rappaport tweeted out this morning. He said, versatility is key. Oregon left tackle Penei Sewell, the draft's consensus top offensive tackle, has been training at right tackle as well as left tackle. Sewell is preparing for the possibility that someone with an entrenched left tackle drafts him and puts him at right tackle for a year. Because there ain't no questions about Austin Jackson's hip flexibility or lateral movement. The guy's clearly athletic. I mean, that's just That's a little interesting tidbit, isn't it, boys? I'm just saying.
Are they signaling like Atlanta or something? Because I know Atlanta has Jake Matthews at left tackle.
Left tackle.
And
which is the only other pick other than quarterback that makes sense for me at 4 because
right.
they don't run a lot of 12-man personnel, Arthur Smith. So, I'm just saying
they have too many excellent wide receivers, and one of the most underrated receivers on that Atlanta team is Russell Gage. I don't know how many people didn't remember him out of LSU, but he's a sneaky.
He popped off a couple games last year.
Yes, he is a sneaky good professional wide receiver, and obviously Julio is Julio. Ridley's coming up into what he's coming up into, and I don't think they have their minds made up as far as the quarterbacks that are going to be there at 4. I think Penei Sewell going to Atlanta is becoming more and more likely. Unfortunately for us, because I would have loved to still draft Penei Sewell, even though this Pitts and Chase and Devontae Smith talk is heating up. I still would take Penei Sewell over all of them, just because we know how significant it is to have just a monster, stout offensive line.
And we don't have Penei. We don't have anyone the level of talent that Penei Sewell is on that offensive line. I don't care what position you talk about.
You're absolutely correct.
Not even close.
In that guy.
Like Hunt and Jackson are not in the same stratosphere. If you want to play him at guard, Flowers and Kinley are not in the same stratosphere, and everyone knows I thought Kinley was our offensive rookie of the year last year. Yes. Not in the same stratosphere, bro.
I agree.
Different universes.
And even with Tevin Jenkins, I think even if we take Tevin Jenkins, he'll still be coming in as the best offensive lineman in the room.
Yeah.
If we get him as well. So look, we have to protect Tua, and we have to run the football. This is going to be one of our biggest needs, man. We have to address it as such.
Yeah. EM, where you at? You still eating, bro? God damn, this guy went back for 3rds and 4ths.
My man eating bonbons, man. Strawberry covered in chocolates. He is living it, man. Taking his time.
Okay, so I gotta ask you something, guys. Let's still stick with the offensive line before we get into other. My boy Quinn Miners, is out here putting up 33 reps of 212. Look at this man. He just got cleared from the broken hand, and he's out here just repping away at the bench press. I mean,
he's a strong person, man.
Are you guys comfortable with taking someone like this at 50?
Yes.
Yeah.
Didn't even hesitate. I love it.
Yes.
Right?
Are you kidding me?
I know Flores preaches versatility, but this is a guy who can play guard or center.
Absolutely.
Dude, this guy gets a hold of you, it's over, bro.
And he already built that rapport in the Senior Bowl. So I'm like, yo, this is the Flores guy, man.
Belly of muscle.
Get it!
Oh man, look at that guy.
Yeah, he's blocking. He's blocking. Impenetrable.
Man. You know what? If you go back and watch the interview, the heart this guy has, the dedication and the effort to constantly want to get better. Him saying, you can't miss a snap in the NFL.
He knows it.
So his arms are short. That's what you want. You want your guard and center to have shorter arms. That's
right.
You have longer arms in the middle does you no good at all. Just get you on the ground.
Right. Because everything is much lower to the ground in the interior versus the edge. Yes.
I'm just saying, man, I don't think he gets past the Eagles at 70, but there's a lot of boards who have him above Josh Myers right now.
That's making a jump. Let me tell you, because I like Josh Myers out of Ohio State. I liked him early, but for Quinn at the moment, Quinn has built such a resume, even stemming from the Senior Bowl invite all the way up to now. He can easily be like a mid, and I'm gonna say it, early day 2 pick, man, because like you're saying, versatility, just from the interviews, all this, the kid has purpose. Like he wants to be one of the best, if not the best, at his position. We're gonna see, man. We're gonna see what happens, man.
What emojis are those?
I think it's pasta.
Spaghetti, pasta.
Yeah,
Sorry, that's
grubbing.
EM's mouth's full of meatballs right now.
yeah. I see.
I love spaghetti, bro. It's fantastic.
You can
dude.
never go wrong with that. You can
Oh
never
my
go
god,
wrong
it's so
with
good, man.
Mhm.
I actually get excited. 2 nights I get excited for when my wife's cooking taco night,
Mm.
and when she says I'm making spaghetti. I don't know why.
that. You never can go wrong with it, man.
Yeah, man, nice bolognese sauce in that, or go full blown meatballs. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Oh my god.
Mm.
Parmesan
All right.
cheese on there. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
And
All right.
she always, what's crazy is she always bought the we'd go to the grocery store and the actual Parmesan that they grade at the grocery store, so it's more
Yeah.
expensive.
Uh-huh.
But bro, that Kraft Parmesan cheese hits so right,
Oh,
bro.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, that's processed. Oh, that's processed." Now she's like, "Yo, make sure you grab that Kraft Parmesan."
That's right. That's right.
You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
the right amount of over saltiness for your pasta, bro.
Sometimes,
Right.
sometimes the stuff you grow up on may not be the best, but it's still what you like, man. It's
Oh
just-
my
I
god, I
know.
love that stuff, man. All right, so guys, I gotta ask you. It's the silence is almost deafening with what's going on with Xavier Howard right now. It's clear he wants more guaranteed money. He switched agents, but nothing's happened. We haven't even heard about him sitting down at the table with the Miami Dolphins if they're far apart on money, if they're close on money. And yet here he is out there training Noah Igbinoghene, helping him get better.
Wow.
And guys, I got to ask a question.
Look at that.
Is Xavier Howard grooming his eventual replacement right now?
Well, more than likely, yeah, he knows it. I mean, that's a part of the game, you know. You want to keep your job, but you want to get your young teammates ready too. You give it back. You know, he's probably took a liking to the kids, putting them under the wing.
That's Noah.
That's
Yeah.
Noah. That's Noah.
Hmm.
One more time for everyone to see.
Whether it's this year, it's happening. Noah's probably going to be his replacement at some point.
Yeah.
Look at him, though, man.
If from the neck up, if Noah gets that dog mentality, bro, oof.
Look how strong he is. Look how strong he is.
Yeah,
The press room.
strong, quick, processes well.
That's a hell of a punch, man.
Mhm.
Right in the chest, too.
Oh, it looks like it hurt.
No, all Noah needs is a string of games where he just has 0 receptions caught on him, and he's in it. He's in it. I just think he just needs that one boost of energy to just take on that mentality of, okay, Revis Island. You know what I mean? Because you can clearly see why the Dolphins drafted him 30th overall. As far as the tools to work with, that's why there's a comparison when I say Robert Hunt's tools versus his mental makeup. Robert Hunt doesn't have the tools to be a right tackle more so than he has the tools to be a right guard. But Noah Igbinoghene, he has all the tools to be one of those stout plug and play off the numbers defensive back. However, that neck up, man, I don't know what's going on as far as the confidence that needs to be installed in him. But a couple games and of just 0 receptions and him getting notoriety of it, the team clearly growing on him. Noah's one of those guys I anticipate to be like one of our better picks moving forward in the future if he flips that switch, bro. Because like I'm seeing all the tools, but a lot of people can't be Richard Sherman, bro.
Reason. Can I express
Yeah.
something about the X
Go ahead.
thing and the quietness?
Go ahead.
If it was X in a regular season coming off of 10 interception and he's a wonderful cornerback and it's quiet, that would make perfect sense. The issue is that he hired a specific agent, and that agent he's built to do one thing. He's there to cause havoc and to get his player his money no matter what. And for it to be so quiet coming from that kind of agent, it's either he's changed, the spots have changed on the leopard, you know what I'm saying? Or there's something going on. That's why the quietness is very uneasy. It's not because of X. It's not because he doesn't deserve the money. It's not because he didn't earn the money. It's not because the Dolphins didn't treat him right the past 2 years. It's because the agent. That agent, it's a ticking time bomb is the way I look at it. So that's why people are uneasy about the quietness. A lot of people are asking about that in chat.
And the other thing too is, listen, we've interviewed Asante Samuel, my boy Greg Newsome the second, Elijah Bolden, I believe 3 other corners as well during this process. What if he decides he wants to hold out heading into training camp? Do you not want to draft a corner and be in a position where he holds out and now you got to lock in on Noah Igbinoghene taking a leap or kicking Needham outside and putting Justin Coleman in the slot? Like, it's a scary situation when you think about him potentially holding out.
Well, I mean, that's a possibility. You damn sure have to look at it being a possibility, him coming off that season, him holding out for money. And also, with the Noah thing, eventually he has to get in there. We took this dude in the first round. And I know it's not Noah's fault when we drafted him. But when you take somebody in the first round, you are drafting him to be a starter. Eventually, it has to happen. I mean, it has to happen. I'm all for X. X put up a hell of a season. He's a Dolphin great. But if we're going to get rid of him, this is the time to get rid of him. And it's time for Noah, whether he likes it or not. I mean, we put this pressure on Tua. God put this pressure on Noah, too.
Right.
You would draft the same draft, first round. You had a whole year. You've been in a couple of games. You got torched, but you learned from experience. That comes a part of the position. And also, you had a chance to look from the sideline. You're training with 2 of the top 5 best corners in the league.
Say that again.
It's time. If that
Great
pressure
point.
Be on Tua, if that
great
pressure
point.
be on Austin Jackson, if that pressure be on Hunt and Kelly, damn it,
it got to be on him.
Noah Igbinoghene too. Yeah. So damn it, if we're gonna trade X and get value for it, I'm with it. And guess what? It shouldn't have to be Needham. It shouldn't have to be Asante Samuel Jr. No kid we drafted. It needs to be Noah Igbinoghene or Greer, and Flo needs to answer to that. We took this kid in the first damn round. When we could have took a J.K. Dobbins or Swift.
Antoine Winfield.
The list goes on and on. But we took Noah Igbinoghene. Damn it, he needs to be ready. It's his turn, too. He has to get this criticism, too.
You're right.
He has to. So we're going to trade X. Let's go for it.
I'm with you. And
Noah has to be that guy. First round pick. All our first round draft choices got pressure.
Right. So he has to get in that fire sooner than later, in my opinion.
He has to.
And with Xavier, I anticipate a win-win to happen. Either we extend him from what he's requesting out of us, or we trade him for a good value, because all pro season, 10 interceptions, he's still healthy. Go ahead, man. Let's go ahead and get what we need to get from trading Xavier Howard, and use that as pieces to position us into continually building the roster on both sides of the football. Because go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, man. I just went to somebody in the comments. Yeah, we drafted him on potential. He's the youngest player in the league. Guess what? We're not in that predicament when we can draft players on potential, man. Like, come on, it's not a luxury pick for us, man.
Yeah, it's not like we just won a Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, we have a rarity of having 3
we were building
picks.
Yeah, we were building.
Like, I mean, if I'm going to hold Tua to this fire, who's coming off a catastrophic injury coming out of college. If I'm holding him to that fire, if I'm going to hold Jackson, who gave up bone marrow to save his sister's life and lost weakness and strength, if I'm going to ask Robert Hunt to make this transition, and I'm going to ask Solomon Kinley to make this transition, I don't give a damn if you're 20 or not. You played football. You got drafted. You got lit. You taking that paycheck at 20. You need to go out there and produce. You got to learn. You have to take that criticism and deal with it.
Play.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
He has to play.
Deal with it. Just like Tua has to deal with it. If I'm going to give it to Tua and Jackson and Kenley and Hunt and all those other guys, I got to give it to you too, Noah. I have to.
But you do see though, as far as our draft picks from last year, offensively everyone pretty much had their struggles, but defensively the only one that had their struggle was Noah. But Brandon Jones, Raekwon Davis, even what's the kid's name, man? Strawberry. Even when he got his minimal reps, he still had really good reps. I think it's safe to say, man, Brian Flores knows how to pick defensive players, how to groom them, how to put them in particular positions to be successful. Offensively, man, I think it's fair to admit that we have to bring in another whether it be a mind and a brain trust of how we assemble the offense. We have to address it seriously, because you can't just always have great defensive players and not put your offense in position to be just as successful as the defense when it comes to the draft, because Raekwon fell to us in the second round. Jones didn't quite fall to us. He got drafted pretty much where he was supposed to. And obviously the reach for Noah was the reach for Noah. But defensively, we've always managed under Brian Flores to position guys the right way. Offensively, I think we need to be real with ourselves and say we might need to find better ways to address the offensive players.
Agree, bro.
We struggle with their developments, bro.
Oh, yes, we do. Oh, man.
Agree.
That's our weakness. That's our Achilles heel is our offense. And a lot of it has to do with who was calling those plays last year that stagnated the growth of this young offense. A lot of it has to do with him. But guess what? He's out of here now. So now we have to put in the parts to get this thing rolling. And we have an off-season now, a full football off-season. We have our quarterback who's in football conditioning now. We need to get him the necessary tools he needs as a young quarterback. And I think that is some semblance of a running game. Yeah. I don't know where it's going to come from. Yeah, what's up, homie?
Hello, Mr. Olive Garden.
Bro, that fire, bro.
What is good, gentlemen? What's going on, fellas? Hey, man. Man, I tell you, I've been enjoying myself listening to y'all, man. All of y'all make a lot of valid points, bro. So, yeah, just wait. I'm just hang on one second, bro.
Yeah, no worries.
Let me get this ready. Yeah, but yeah, gentlemen, yeah, just with y'all, just getting ready for can't wait the draft and I get here soon enough. But man, I tell you, I'm just I think it's the most excited I think I've ever been anticipating the draft, because I think this team is built to do some special things. Reason and I, we talked about this morning. I think this team is in prime position to do some special things. So we could just Greer and Flores can just hit another home run in terms of the draft. I think they had a very good, another good solid free agency. And yeah, they hit this draft out of the park, man. It really, if we could just get like 2 or 3 guys early on. Now you obviously want to hit on all your picks, but if we can get 2 or 3 solid contributors early on, man, I'll tell you, everything is set up for. I'm telling you, man, for this team to do some very special things this year. I mean, in terms of just making playoffs. I mean, obviously, I don't think we're going to make the Super Bowl, but just getting to the playoffs and improving upon the season they had last year. Seeing the growth and development from all of our players, not just Tua Tagovailoa, your Raekwon Davises, your Robert Hunts, Solomon Kinleys of the world. Anxious to see Michael Dieter. So I might be in a minority in terms of how high I am on our running back room, I absolutely love Myles Gaskins. And I don't understand why reason is. I don't know why you don't have that same love for him like me, because you're the one that put him on the map. You called me. I was sweating in 108 degrees, and he calls me and just mentioned it in a casual conversation. He said, "Hey, bro, I gotta be honest, man. This is a direct quote. He said, man, I was watching some tape on Myles Gaskins, bro. I think we might have something." I said, bro, I don't want to talk about no damn Myles Gaskins. I don't want to hear that. So, and then look at the season. We got the training camp, and he just started to flash and develop and grow. And we saw him last year, I think I'm anticipating an even bigger jump for him in year 3 now. So, but we'll see, man. I just don't think, I don't want the Dolphins. 2 things in the first round. No running back, and no running back, and no damn Devontae Smith in the top 10. If we do those 2 things, I'm good.
All right.
Sorry, no disrespect.
You might not get both, man.
No disrespect to Mr. Smith if you're listening. No disrespect. Yeah. Sorry, that's just me. So,
would you like to pick 6, EM, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I think, I think Pitts is the target, I think. I truly believe that. I just don't think I would even be more inclined to take, to entertain, reasons, his position on, Penei Sewell. I mean, you can't go wrong there. That's not a wrong pick if they opt to go tackle. No. You know what I mean? Because the value is there. The talent is there. The value there from a draft perspective is there. But I think Pitts is the target. I think, they got a little cute trading back up to 6 because the wild card is Atlanta. You know what I mean? Everything, the draft starts, in my opinion, at 4. So,
yes,
nobody knows, so Atlanta's being.
Pitts and Sewell are gone. What are you doing?
I'm a trade down at that point. I'm a trade
Can't
down.
Can't do it. You're stuck, is what I'm saying. Sorry. You're stuck.
Rhino always gets us with this.
Damn, Rhino, man. Come on, man. Can I at least warm up? I just got on this.
You did a good job, boy.
Can I warm up a little bit, please?
I think we might get stuck, and that's possible. That could happen. I really
see, but the thing is, under that circumstance, that means Pitts goes 4, and Sewell goes 4, and whatever, right? Pitts goes 4, Penei goes 5. Sorry, Trey Lance is on the board, so you will actually have a chance to trade down.
True.
Yeah. Let's say somebody, it doesn't work that way, but
somebody's gonna jump up, and if that scenario unfolds, somebody's gonna offer. Somebody's gonna try to jump up and get him at 6.
Did you see the report? No, did you see the report today? That the Eagles are looking to get back into the top 10, bro.
Oh my goodness!
Are you?
I swear to God, bro. Let me bring this up, bro. I'm not even joking. When I saw that, I was like, "What is Howard Roseman?"
Answer the question. Reach the
You know what? If
he said trade back. Oh yeah,
forget it. It didn't happen.
If I can't trade back, I
want to hear that.
And I agree.
Waddle.
If that's the thing,
right? That's my guy.
You know what? I was just getting ready to say that. I would go with Jalen Waddle. I would.
Now, my next question is, what do you think the Dolphins would do? We understand what you would do. What would they would do?
According to all this smoke, according to all this smoke, there's a lot of smoke surrounding Jamar Chase. Yeah. And I'll say it again. I said last year, when all that smoke was about Tua, you recall I said, either this is the biggest smoke screen in the history of the NFL, or the Dolphins are all in, Tua is the target. And I'll say the same thing about Chase, because there is a lot of smoke surrounding them. So we'll see. I think the Dolphins will, if Chase is there, bro, I think they'll take him. But me personally, I would take Waddle.
Me too.
Okay. But see, here's the thing. First of all, there's it up on the screen for you. A report, Eagles exploring a move into the top 10. And then number 2 is when you go back to, I always bring this up, when Klump showed me those messages he had involving,
Philly,
the Philly making offers for Deshaun Watson, right? And then it hadn't been reported anywhere. And then the next morning got reported by Jason LaCanfora. in that same article by Jason LaCanfora, he said the Dolphins want to trade back, but they don't want to go outside the top 10 because they want one of the 2 Alabama receivers. So maybe it will be Jalen Waddle.
Or what? Yeah.
Maybe.
But like me and EM said this, Jalen Waddle, when we talked to him, Jalen Waddle, he's got the excuse, he's got the injury. Who's the agent that was telling, hey, Devontae, chill. You don't have to go run your 40. You don't have to go do a 3-cone or a short shuttle. Like, who's the idiot that said that? Because listen, if he would have ran out there and ran a 4.38 like everyone else their pro day was running, 4.39 or a 4.4.
That's even more concerning reason. We know these numbers are inflated.
Wow, that's a good point.
And he still didn't go out and run. Come on, bro. Listen. I'm not trying to cast any
but his finger was hurt, His finger was hurt.
Listen. I got none but respect for the brother. I hope he gets to the NFL and does great things. But I'm just sorry, man. Those players with those type of dimensions, they don't get drafted early. Not just top 10, but first round. And this kid, I'm telling you, I just think. I listen to a lot of people. They've been talking about how he excelled in press coverage in the SEC. Okay, I'll give you that. But we all know that jump from the SEC or any conference in the collegiate arena to the NFL, bro, is immense. Yeah. And you're drafting a player, he's already deficient. I don't care what anybody says. His lack of upper body strength, once he gets to the NFL and those corners get them hands on him, it is a wrap. And I always use the Devontae Parker analogy. Parker is as imposing physically as a wide receiver that you will ever find in any draft. He struggled getting off the line of scrimmage early on in his career.
He still got hemmed up.
And you mean to tell me a player that's 3 inches shorter, and Devontae is about 210 maybe?
Yeah.
Bro, and this kid is 165 soaking wet. It's not going to happen, bro. He doesn't have dynamic elite speed. At least Waddle, again, at least he has a skill set that he's got a dynamic skill set with that elite crackhead speed. Yeah. Devontae Smith does not. He doesn't. Here's the thing. If you're at the line of scrimmage in the NFL and if you're pressing him and you miss Waddle, you know what I mean? You're not catching up to 4.25. I'm sorry, he hit his head on the goalpost. But if you're 4 or 5 and they miss, you can recover relatively easy.
Right.
So bro, I just don't think so. I could be wrong. And if he gets to the NFL and carves the NFL up, in particular early on, I will be the first one out front issuing a public apology to that young man. But I just don't see it.
That's. First of all, I gotta say, at that Mac Jones pro day, that slug and go route that he ran was like, oh my god,
it was nasty.
Devontae Smith broke the ankles of the air, but I think Rashad Bateman and Jalen Waddle are they're gonna transition the best to releasing against press, because you go look at Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase had, as strong as he is, he had issues with press here and there. Right. But Rashad Bateman's a more nuanced route runner.
Right.
And he has a better release, and he got 4.39 speed. I think Jalen Waddle, because Jalen Waddle, like, it's Jerry Jeudy, it's like Devontae Smith, and then it's like Jalen Waddle in terms of route running. Like, he's right there. And his understanding of angles and pursuit angles is fantastic. I think him and Rashad Bateman are going to be the most successful early on in terms of getting that release off the line.
And reason, that's the whole point. Early on, you know what I mean. You want to get the most bang for you. If you're picking that high, you want to get more of immediate return on your investment. And
Devontae, you're going to have to motion a little bit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. True. Exactly. If you're picking in the second round and beyond, okay, I get it. But you're talking about the 6th overall pick when you're going to have to manufacture his release consistently off the line of scrimmage. That's a given. So why would you make that type of investment in a player that's deficient to where you have to manufacture things for him? No, that's not how the draft is done. It's not. So all this stuff, this smoke about Devontae Smith, bro, I think it's what it is. Smoke. It's just a lot of smoke.
And I actually like Devontae Smith as far as a wide receiver, but what you're saying, DM, is very important. If you're not Antonio Brown off the line of scrimmage, if you're not Keenan Allen off the line of scrimmage at that size, you're going to struggle in the NFL when it comes to the rules and regulations of being within that 5-yard, maul 'em mark of not getting into your route. And especially with this offense, let's be clear. Tua Tagovailoa is a process-based, rhythm-based, precision-based passer of the football. And if you're not getting the efficient separation off the line of scrimmage within that first 3 to 4 seconds of the play, you're going to struggle to get the football because Tua's going to have to go to his next read, considering he is a rhythm-based thrower. Devontae Smith, he like how you're saying, he was good in the SEC as far as using whatever type of technique he had to use to get off of press coverage and run past certain guys. But that jump between college football and professional is extremely, extremely real and difficult because guys are much more seasoned. These are the best of the best. And again, if you're not automatically built for it, like even with Devontae Parker coming in at 6'3", 6'4", 210, and he was still getting hemmed up at the line of scrimmage, you can only imagine if you just split out a Devontae Smith wide and he doesn't have those attributes like an Antonio Brown or Keenan Allen that are magical at the line of scrimmage of getting guys off of them. Even Devontae Adams at times, you can clearly see these guys are special at getting guys on their toes. And obviously they're going to keep making comparisons with Devontae Smith and like Chad Johnson. Chad Johnson is arguably a Hall of Fame, bump buster wide receiver. He makes people look foolish at the line of scrimmage. Devontae Smith doesn't have those type of abilities, and I think it's important to kind of highlight that particular aspect of what he is versus who Marvin Harrison was, or even Isaac Bruce at times. Like he's not that type of wide receiver.
Martin, it took Marvin Harrison about 3 or 4 years to get that down pat at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And see, reason to Martin. Well, everybody. Again, that's my whole issue. It's the reason why these guys are not taking high. They're not taking this high, especially 6 overall. You know what I mean? Like you just said, reason. 3 years. I mean, before they saw tangible results from Marvin Harrison. 3 years. So you're going to sit there and take a player, in my opinion. Now, again, I could be totally off base, but I don't think I'm wrong in this case. You get him at 6. You're talking about projection. 3 years to wait on him to get up, to get the functional strength, upper body strength to where he can at least be serviceable in terms of his ability to release. Come on, man. No. It's the reason why these players with these dimensions do not get picked this high. And all these Devontae Smith friends, again, they're prisoner of the moment, just like Najee Harris, falling right for the Kool-Aid. And again, I'm not listen. This is nothing negative against Najee Harris. I think he's value. He's in terms of his talent, there's value there. But I just don't see the value in this kid. And again, I'm not trying to cast any negative things on this kid's career. What's coming for him. But I just, for the Dolphins, I don't want him in the top 10. I don't want him in the first round, really. But I'll be more inclined to entertain it at 18 or beyond. But top 10, no, it ain't happening.
I'll be honest with you. I won't be sad if we take Devontae Smith because of how good of a route runner he is. And I know his ability and his chemistry with Tua, but I will be realistic, and I will not be sitting there expecting a Justin Jefferson type of year in year one. By any stretch of the imagination.
That'll be difficult to do.
My just thing with Jalen Waddle is not only can he contribute as a wide receiver, but in the return game, this could be your game breaker.
Wow. Yes. Yes. Not Dante Hall. He's not Dante Hall, but he clearly can flip the field for you if you put him back there early, as far as a returner. And also I really love Jalen Waddle's mindset. People don't talk about
He's
this
a
enough
dog.
as far as in that wide receiver room. The last time we had a mindset like this was Jarvis Landry, right? And you saw how Jarvis was so infectious on the field. Every time he made a big play, he's flexing, he's signaling first down, he's barking at his teammates, everybody's getting around him, kind of gaining energy and confidence. Jalen Waddle's the exact same type of personality and mindset. Once you have that in the locker room, especially in a room where we have a whole bunch of guys where they know as well that this is like a make or break year. When you put a guy in there like a Jalen Waddle to affect mindsets like that, have an infectious effect on mindsets like, look, I'm the dog, follow me, right? I think it can bring out certain players like even a Preston Williams, who clearly has all the ability, but there's just something missing as far as why hasn't he gotten over the top. Injuries is one of the issues that's been plaguing him. But even outside of injuries, Preston Williams has not taken on that 2018 preseason, playmaker Preston. We haven't seen that in the regular season yet. But I think with the Jalen Waddle mixed into that locker room, bro, Preston Williams seeing that and understanding, bro, this dude's playing. Let me catch up with him. I can see different receivers feeding off of that type of like A-type personality. And not like how you're saying, not only that, but he also adds a different element into the return game to where we can just move on from Jakeem Grant finally,
And also, look, two things real quick. If Jalen Waddle doesn't get hurt, are we even talking really this seriously about Devontae Smith?
Probably not.
Say that again.
No.
Yeah.
And all these people are talking about Smith, his route running, yada, yada, yada. Okay. He might be the most refined in this draft class. Maybe. There's a debate, a legitimate debate that can be made for others. But DeAndre Hopkins now, right, is arguably the best wide receiver in the National Football League, has been for the last 3 years, right? Exceptional in route running. Okay? Is Devontae Smith on that level? I would absolutely not. And so my point is, where was DeAndre Hopkins drafted? Bottom of the first round. So, man, I'm telling you, man, this is all smoke about it. Listen, if the Dolphins, if he were to slide to the second round, okay, I will be more.
He's also not another guy who came from Bama. He's not Julio.
Yeah.
And look at how much Atlanta gave up to trade up to get Julio.
Right.
And and he's that freak. You know what I mean? Freak show wide receivers get pushed up draft boards. They go in the top 10. Not these guys.
Calvin Johnson as well. Larry Fitzgerald. Julio Jones. Yeah, he's
Roy
not,
Williams.
He's not that. We know it.
He's
not.
Roy Williams.
I like Roy coming out of Texas, though.
I like that.
He busted out, but
yeah,
he's in the top 5.
I agree, but he probably knew he was going to bust out when Detroit called him and said, "Hey, Roy, we're taking you."
Hey, I got a better one for them. Carlos Rogers. They took like 3 in the top 5 back-to-back years, wasn't it? Something like that.
Charles Rogers, Roy Williams, and then Larry Fitzgerald. Or not Larry Fitzgerald.
Megatron,
Mike Williams. Mike Williams.
Oh, Mike Williams. Yeah.
That's why they were so hesitant to take Megatron in 2007. They're like, damn, should we do this again? But clearly Calvin Johnson was a completely different player, and they made the right decision then. So
yeah.
But look at even it took Calvin Ridley a couple years to get to where he's at right now.
Yeah,
right. And he came out and he was bigger than what? He's about 180 something when he came out. Now he's sitting around 190.
But
he's gonna have to. Smitty is going to have to add that to his game, bro. He's going to have to because, again, like I said, he's not, he doesn't have that dynamic speed, and again, the NFL is all about winning the line of scrimmage on all levels.
Absolutely.
So he's going to have to add, he's going to have to get some functional strength, build that upper body strength, get more discipline and better at his hand placement. and for him to be successful, in my opinion, he's he's gonna have to buy into the blueprint of what made DeAndre Hopkins who he is. So similar players, but it took D Hop a while to get up to speed as well. And so he's going to have to add that to his game. There's no way he coming into the league as the way he is, and him coming in and dominating. That's not going to happen.
We're basically talking about athletic profiles here, and the problem is you're going to have a guy like basically with a similar athletic profile to Megatron and Kyle Pitts staring down the barrel at you, most likely at 6.
If Kyle Pitts gets there, I wouldn't be surprised if Miami goes that route. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Oh, I think Pitts is the target, bro. I really, I believe that. I think Pitts is the target. That's why they traded all the way back. I just find that hard to believe they traded. They moved heaven and earth twice to trade back up to 6 for Devontae Smith. I just don't see that. Or Jalen Waddle for that matter. I think the 3 players I think that's on their radar is Pitts, Chase, and Penei Sewell. I think
the thing that kills me though, EM, is they got behind Cincinnati, knowing that Cincinnati could take Penei or Chase, but they got in front of the Lions, who are the most wide receiver needy team in this draft. That's why I can't get a full-blown read on what they're, because the Lions drafted TJ Hawkinson a few years ago. They don't need a tight end. And they spent a top 10 pick, right? And they spent a top 10 pick on TJ Hawkinson. So it's like, it just screams that they moved up for a wide receiver.
Because if they wanted Pitts so much, they would have stayed at 3, and I guaranteed they would have gotten
True.
Well, you can say that about any of the prospects.
Well, no, the receivers, I think it's a more comfortable feeling that they would be there at 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
That's how I look at it. That's my opinion. That's what I'm saying.
And that's valid. I just think Pitts is too much. Again, if you're going off trends, they have tipped their hat. You know what I mean? The staff, since they've been here, of what type of profile they desire at the skill positions. He fits everything. Look at the dimensions of these receivers that we have in our wide receiver room right now. They've clearly shown you what the priority is. Now, again, not to say they wouldn't draft Chase or Waddle, but I'm just telling you what their preference would be.
Right.
And if that guy, and if Kyle Pitts is sitting there, that's too much. That is too much talent to pass up. I just don't see it. I don't. And again, we've got with the addition of Will Fuller, again, the durability is a concern. But you've got Parker, Williams, Lynn Bowden. I think Alvin Wilson's going to be on this team come September. And then you have the young developmental guys, Kirk Merritt to the world. I don't think Malcolm Perry is going to be on this roster, but I could be wrong. But you can find a guy later in the round, a slot, quote unquote, prototypical slot guy later in the round. There's an embarrassment of riches for receivers with that type of skill set in this draft. So I think Pitts is the target. If he's not there, I'm not saying they wouldn't take Chase or Waddle, but I think it's 4 players really. It's Pitts, Sewell, and the 2 receivers, in my opinion.
And I think it's also important for us to take into consideration when you can clearly see and scout a generational talent like Saquon Barkley in the 2018 NFL draft going to Cleveland at number 1 was realistic. Jim Brown wanted Cleveland to take Saquon Barkley because he was clearly the best player in that draft, but Cleveland wanted to take the quarterback. Right choice. They took Baker. But number 2, New York Giants, take him, right? When you have a generational talent like Kyle Pitts, those first 3 teams, Jacksonville, New York Jets, and San Francisco could all take Kyle Pitts, clearly. But it's getting more and more obvious that they're all going to take a quarterback. If Kyle Pitts,
I'm sorry, bro. Go ahead. Go ahead.
My fault. If Kyle Pitts falls to us at number 6, and people are arguing that might be too high to take a tight end or whatever they want to label Kyle Pitts as. I'll say the same thing is to be said for taking a running back high, but when you can clearly see that Saquon Barkley back in 2018 is the best running back to come out since like Adrian Peterson in 2007, you take that guy, and Kyle Pitts is that guy at tight end this year. So if he falls to Miami at number 6, it's one of those no-brainer picks that, okay, let's just go ahead and seal this up and say, okay, we got the best player in the draft and build from there.
And he would fit. He fits so much. The Dolphins with the heavy deployment of 12 personnel.
Fifth most. We run the fifth most 12-man personnel in the NFL.
Well, if you get Kyle Pitts, I'm sure we'll be number 1 or 2 next year.
yeah, really.
So they're telling you schematically, based off those analytics, bro, what their approach is, and he would fit. He fits. I mean, he would fit. He would be a seamless fit into what they want to do, and obviously the physical skill set, is there. So it just makes too much sense. Makes too much sense in my opinion.
Flores was in New England when they drafted Aaron Hernandez, who was from where?
Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I'm just
and I got to
saying.
tell you, I got to issue a couple of apologies, public apologies right now. Damien, I am sorry, sir. I was giving you, months back, I was giving you pushback. Not, with Kyle Pitts. I just didn't think the Dolphins would go this route because, again, I might be somewhat in the minority. I'm high on Mike Gesicki. But I must say, with this kid, you pair him with because see, people are sleeping. I think Omar Kelly posted on Twitter a couple of days ago.
He's sleeping hard on.
Well, they were talking about athletic ability.
Yeah, well, you know what he tried? He tried to pass off as, don't sell me Pitts as generational talent when Vernon Davis had a bit of a better pro day. And it's like, bro, if you're just basing this off pro days, give me a break.
That's ridiculous.
You see why I don't like him? Yeah, you see why I don't like him?
No. I saw that tweet. I'm talking about the other one he posted, or somebody posted Mike Gesicki's combine numbers, and people are sleeping on Gesicki. He's a freak as well. He doesn't have the fluidity. Right. So you pair those.
And
two.
you know what? And what's my biggest knock on Gesicki? His route running. Route running. Besides the blocking, Pitts is a better blocker, inline blocker coming out,
and a better route runner,
and a way more polished route runner, bro. When he runs those whip routes, he leaves defenders in his house. Like, bro, go look at 2 of the top 4 corners in this draft, however you want to rank them. J.C. Horn and Patrick Surtain got blown up by Pitts. J.C. Horn defended him the best and still couldn't keep him out of the end zone, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I have a question.
He's ridiculous. He makes too much sense.
And you can use him too many. Like, listen, EM, if you want to convert him to a full-time receiver, you can.
You can, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Like a Darren Waller.
Yeah.
It just makes too much sense. The kid's versatility, the ways you can deploy him are endless. He seems like he's got the off the field character. He's checking those boxes.
Love him.
It just makes too much sense. I would more if the Dolphins are that sold on him. See, they tried to get a little too cute. They should have just traded all back up the floor if they were going to trade back up. But if he's the apple of their eye, I mean, would y'all entertain trading back? I know a lot of people. I forget who posted that.
Kuiper.
And that he got killed for it. He got killed for it. So I asked you guys. I asked this to Damien privately.
Yes, sir.
Would you trade back up to 4 to ensure that you could get him?
I want to answer that, and I want to just pose something to everybody with the Kyle Pitts thing, because I was on the Smitty bandwagon hard, and I still like the kid.
I love Devontae.
It's Pitts for me number 1, and then Penei after that. I wouldn't be mad with.
Whoa! Pitts over Sewell now?
Well, no. For the last month or so, I've been on.
Wow.
Pitts is
Sorry,
my
I mean, right.
Those are the Rhino. In Damien's defense, those are the 2 picks that make the most sense at 6.
Yes.
And,
well. I'm taking Pitts over Sewell. I'm taking Pitts over anybody.
No, I'm just talking about the order. The order.
Oh, go ahead.
And to propose those things, I think just as Penei would help deficiencies on offense with us, glaring deficiencies, I think, again, Pitts would too, especially opening up the passing game and opening up the run game because of the things. He is a block. He can block. And him coming off the line of scrimmage, chipping edge rushers, and giving us that extra element, especially in the red zone, will be key. And also, I look at this with Kyle Pitts. And I want to ask y'all this question before I answer EM's question. Kyle Pitts, right now, coming out of the University of Florida, with everything that he has to offer, the route running, the speed, the catch radius, the explosiveness, all these things to offer, could we not say, and we know that you have to prove it in the NFL, but just on pure talent alone and what we've seen on film in college, is he not the best receiver on our whole roster coming in just on pure talent? And
by far.
Yeah.
Agreed.
We have to look at that we're drafting at tight end. We're drafting Megatron. You can say whatever way you want, but that is the truth.
Josh Holtz called him Megazord. I was like, that's a cool nickname right there.
Yeah. And the thing about, all right, EM, the question that EM asked me, and I'm going to answer, and this is why I'm going to answer yes. If they're that sold on it, if I'm slow as a grill, and I'm that sold on him, if I'm worried about maybe Cincinnati or Atlanta, if I am, or if that's Penei or anybody, if I'm that worried about him, would I give up pick 18 or that first round pick next year? If I'm that sold on a player
to move to 4,
if I'm that sold on it,
we were at 3.
I wouldn't do it.
Could you let me finish?
I would lose my shit, bro. You have no idea. Sorry, Damien. I thought you were getting.
No, I'm saying if I was that sold, then I would, because at the end of the day, we still picked up a 2023 first round pick. Anywhere it goes, we still got an extra first round pick.
Oh my God.
That's all I'm saying. We still got an extra first round pick. Anywhere it go, we don't lose, because
not if we give up the 18. Not if we give up the 18, like you said.
This is what I'm saying. If they're that sold on him, and they believe he's the best,
he's not saying he would. He's saying if the coaching staff is that sold.
But I don't think they would have been that sold on him come now. They would have been sold on him before.
I think so too.
I mean, I understand what Damien's saying, but that's a lot to.
I understand that, and GMs and coaches do that for guys that sold on. And at the end of the day, we still gain that extra first round pick. I'm just if they're nervous about him being gone off the board, that's whether if it's him, if it's Penei, or whoever, because they moved back up, like Reason said, they moved back up to number 6 for a reason, for a player that they wanted, and they were scared it wasn't going to be there at 12. So if it comes down to them being convicted on draft day, and they are worried about that, I'm just saying, it all depends.
No.
I don't know. I'm not in that war room.
I would give them the 6th and like a second next year, and a second the year after. I don't know if I'd package another first.
I think he's that special. I'm not saying that I would give up the first next year.
You're talking about the coaching staff. You're saying the coaching staff.
I would say Greer has a trading problem and he needs to seek help at that point.
You say that now. Until they get this dude and he start carving up the league.
I'll tell you one thing. If we draft him, I've said this before. If we draft this guy, he's winning Rookie of the Year, bro. You can fucking bank it.
I think it's 3 generational dudes in this draft. I think it's 3 dudes who can arguably win Rookie of the Year and in the next 2 to 3 years be on the All-Pro team. And that's Kyle Pitts. They all begin with end with a P with their last name. Pitts, Penei, or Parsons. One of those, all 3 of those.
Yeah, I agree with that.
To be All-Pro. And
I think Farley is on that. I think Farley is on that list too.
Well, because of that injury, I hope
2 injuries.
Back from it, but
remember, he tore his ACL a couple years ago.
That's legit.
Right?
That's legit.
I gotta put a red flag up for that. But
that's legit.
Guys right there, Penei, Parsons, and Pitts, those 3 right there are different. They're different.
Let me ask y'all this, because he's gonna slide. Man, I see PFN has him ranked like 30th or 31st right now. Caleb
Who was
Farley.
that?
Caleb Farley.
Caleb Farley?
Oh,
yeah,
really?
bro.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
back
Really?
he's gonna slide, bro, because he hurt his back and got the surgery. He was training, and then he has the ACL tear a couple years ago, right? What do you do if Caleb Farley's on the board at 18 and so is Micah Parsons?
I'll
Well,
go last if you like. I'll go last.
and you don't know what's happening with X right now because X could turn around. He could wait till after the draft because someone said in the comments earlier, and they're 110% right. He has all the leverage after the draft. Okay, if he thinks he's gonna hold out, what do you do, bro?
I'll take Parsons still. I'll take Parsons still because if you can generate sufficient pressure, that automatically helps the defensive backs when it comes to the timing of anticipating route breakoffs and then jumping routes. You can jump a route when your defensive front is providing sufficient enough pressure for the quarterback to release the ball early. So Micah Parsons versus Caleb Farley. Who's beneficial? Who should you take? I'll go Micah Parsons if he's there at 18 because of not only what he can do in the run game, but obviously he can generate so much pressure as a free rusher. I'm gonna say Parsons.
I don't put Parsons as generational. I put him as elite.
He's elite. Yes,
he's definitely worth at 18. Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. Only question I have with Parsons, the more tape you watch him and you see he's deficient in taking on blocks, bro. He's like,
he
struggles.
He's not Jerome Baker. He doesn't, he doesn't like to go through traffic. He likes to go around it.
And coverage leaves something to be desired a little bit too.
Right. Man coverage. Yeah, I would agree. And so with that being said, not to say that again, you can coach that up. I mean, Jerome, you can coach that. I don't understand that with Parsons. That's why you're so frustrated in watching tape on him because I can understand Jerome Baker, bro. Jerome Baker's 220 soaking wet. I can understand why he is reluctant to
Parsons
take on
like 265. Yeah,
exactly. You know what I mean? I don't get it. That's what's the most frustrating thing with him. But again, the athleticism is off the charts. He's got a lot to his game that you like, the versatility. You can see why, if you believe the reports, there's a high level of intrigue with Brian Flores with this player. But I can tell you, when you put that tape on, you see him trying to circumvent contact. That does not make Brian Flores happy. Now, is Evan Collins on the other hand totally different? His game is more but Bernard McKinney's games are. Me and Reason talk about this privately. They're very similar. Very similar. They're north and south players. Extremely instinctive, solid, very physical at the point. They seek contact. They don't try to circumvent it. And
same with Nick Bolton too. Even seeks
exactly. But those two are more prototypical. But you can see why. I mean, the flip side of that is that Parsons is like twice the athlete Collins is. So it's like, man, what do you want, an apple or do you want an orange? You know what I mean? It's just whatever mood you in that particular time come draft day. But if Farley's healthy, I'm taking Caleb Farley. I already know that. So it's what it is. It's what it is. So
then that means
Damien, it's your turn. Let's hear where you go.
My fault.
Sorry, Martin.
I'm taking a freak athlete who can rush the passer. He can give you a lot of things, man. He can implement a lot of things for you. He can rush the passer. And he just, from watching Penn State football 2 years ago, because not this season, of course. He stands out. When you watch a Penn State game, he stands out. He's always making a play. And that's something that while he's developing, you can bank on that especially in this defense, he's going to make a play. Flo's going to put him in the best position possible to make a play. Right now, while he's deficient in some areas, Flo is going to mask that and put him in situations to excel the most. And if I just, especially with I just don't see how we just if he's still available and we're at like pick 14, I am trading up. They can have 18, they can have 36. They can have it. You can take it. This is a top 5 talent coming into this draft before the off the field stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't miss on that. You don't hesitate on that.
You know what? And if we didn't trade for McKinney, I would be more inclined to maybe lean towards Parsons. But I think McKinney, you can get minimum 2 more years of high productivity out of him.
Right.
I think making that kind of investment on a player, that especially giving up additional capital to get him, I don't think that might be the most ideal. I don't think it's not.
I wouldn't trade up for him. I
don't think that.
Bro, you could turn around at 36 if he slips, and you could take my boy Damien Davis out of Kentucky and slide him inside with McKinney. And you talk about a freak athlete.
Absolutely.
Shit.
Absolutely.
And Damien Davis hits like a goddamn truck, too.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Why would I take an 18, not disputing the player, Caleb Fogg, or any quarterback? Why would I take them at 18? I just invested a damn first-round pick in Noah Igbinoghene last year. Just invested.
Well, that's a good.
Byron Jones.
I have an answer because Justin Coleman's only here on a 1-year deal, and you don't know what's happening with X. If Justin Coleman dips after 1 year and X holds out, you now have Noah you can slide into the slot, and you can put whoever you drafted at 18 to the other corner opposite of Byron Jones.
And my question and my response to that is, damn, we spent the first. I know the slot is important nowadays in the NFL, but damn, man.
Bro, you know what the problem is, Damien? It's the cut from the Belichick cloth. You can never have enough corners.
Yep.
That's what the problem is.
Yep. That's just Flores.
If you're gonna run diamond and ruby packages, which they do a lot, you gotta have a lot of corners.
Gotta have DBs, bro. So that's just Flores. This defense is built.
Is diamond and ruby similar to nickel and dime, or
yeah, because they're all exotic packages. They're all packages that prioritize defensive backs as opposed to size and girth, and linemen up front. So
right, okay, so they're just more exotic.
Yeah, because on Ruby you have 3 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, and 6 defensive backs.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right, and when you're going against guys like Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes, that's when you're going to see a lot of Ruby and Diamond, right?
Exactly.
Okay. I'll pose this question to you then, and I agree with y'all 100%. But damn it, don't we need a pass rusher to complement this all these corners? Because we have to be able to get this pressure organically.
Well, the other thing too, you got to get ahead of Ogba, right? If Ogba hits double-digit sacks and they're not looking to re-up him next year, who's going to be opposite of Van Ginkel?
Exactly.
Now, I do agree. I do agree.
But there are pass rushers to be had at 36 too. I got.
Yes, they are.
Anyway,
that is true. That is true.
Go ahead.
I will say, no, you good, Reason. You good, homie. No. I would say this. I do agree with the narrative that, generating pass rush organically, you want to have a player where you can individualize and say, look, get up, you can rush 4 and you can rely on each individual player to get pressure or get the quarterback on the ground. But I say is it needed? We're top 10 in pressures, top 10 in sacks. Hang on. Let me finish. Top 10 in pressures, top 10 in sacks. We had the 5th overall ranked defense. I think with the improvement, again, I don't think that's the priority. The priority, what I've been saying since day one, me and Reason both been saying that since day one. The priority needs to, they need to get better in the front 7 in terms of minimizing the opposing team's run game. And they did exactly that. That will benefit everything else because you're forcing teams, when you do that, more consistently to be in 3rd and long. And again, the longer you have to, the longer teams offenses have to get the first down. It's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, and beyond. Again, the quarterback has to hold on to the ball longer, which benefits the pass rush, gives them more time to get there. So if you got the guys that can cover, we've proven that. We have the guys that can cover. That wasn't an issue. That wasn't a huge issue this year. The priority was the run defense, and they already addressed that.
I want to answer that question. I'm gonna cut my camera on because I'm like in school raising my hand because I'm so eager.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, y'all. So this is what I want to say. Who are the 2 top teams in the AFC in the conference we're in right now?
Chiefs, Bills.
Okay, and what do we need to do to those 2 quarterbacks because of their receiving core?
Put pressure on them.
Make them see
Stop
ghosts.
Make them one-dimensional. Make them one-dimensional. That's what you need to do. Make them one-dimensional.
I will say this. Pressure with Kansas City.
Mhm.
Pressure. Buffalo ain't had no stout running game last year.
Yeah, like how the Bucks beat him with pressure, right?
Pressure,
Right.
But
Mhm.
get it organically too.
I will say this though, my only pushback to you, Damien, that first game against the Bills, I blame that more on personnel deployment.
Oh yeah, no.
Jerome Baker had no business being the mic, and I already showed that on film, bro.
Exactly. Exactly.
And
I think that was just Boyer getting a hold, Boyer getting a hold of how to utilize these guys.
And also, and also, my second point, I forgot to mention this.
Yes, sir.
You're talking about organic pass rush. Emmanuel Ogbah was our best player in terms of impacting the passer, right? Keep in mind, primarily, this was an interior player. And I've been saying this since day one. We have him on the roster if you primarily deploy him as an edge player. And I think with the moves that they make, the reinforcements that they brought up front, that they are telling the world we are unleashing him. He will be a primary edge guy. And watch the pass rush improve. You'll see the organic improvement if they opt to do that.
And I want to pose this. Yes, that's true. But when opposing offenses know that the only guy they have that is a threat of getting to beating my tackle is this guy right here, you have to have a guy to compliment.
You know what I'm gonna say to them, Damien?
Yes, sir.
Andrew Van Ginkel.
Yeah, meet my friend Andrew Van Ginkel, bro.
Now, I agree with you on ABG, and I think that he can take this leap. Also, coming off that injury in training camp, Vince Beagle was top 5 in pressures 2 years ago. So that is key too. I hope he can come back off that injury.
And look and kind of going off of EM's point right now.
Quiddy Pay or Michael Parsons.
Yeah, going off EM's point, Quiddy Pay would be perfect for this.
Yes,
defense.
he would.
I agree.
Prototypically,
I agree.
I agree.
I agree.
But hold on a sec. I want to go off. I'd take Michael Parsons over Quiddy Pay. But it would be like by like a pube. You know what I mean? But like going off of what EM kind of said there, Ogbah was utilized more of a defensive end on the interior as opposed to an edge, and yet top 6 in pressures, top 5 in hurries. I think he was top 10 in sacks for ends. You know what I mean? So like if they rotate him to standing up and hand in the dirt, he's gonna hit the bro. I literally missed my prediction by like 1 or half a sack last year, bro. He's good. My problem is with all this money, I would have liked them to. The only thing I'll hold to them, I won't even hold the X against them. The only thing I'll hold against them, you didn't get ahead of re-upping Ogbah. That's the only thing I'll hold against them. You should have put the proverbial cart before the horse on that one and extended him for at least another year or two. Because that guy, if they utilize him like EM's saying, he's don't think 12 or 14 sacks are out of the realm of possibility.
And reason I pose this to you, and I agree with you totally, and I think that Ogbah will have anywhere from 12 to 15 sacks. I think he has it in him. This is my whole thing. Why can't we get back to the Dolphins when we had Cam Wake double-digit sacks, Olivier Vernon double-digit sacks, or Jason Taylor and Trace Armstrong double-digit sacks? Why can't we have both?
Different defense.
Different scheme.
I know that. I get that. But why can't we at least strive for that? Why can't we at least
Don't say Olivier Vernon. He only had double-digit sacks 1 year. He had that fluke 11 seconds.
Yeah,
and you fell off a cliff after that.
PFF literally got Olivier Vernon paid. If you go look at his grades that year, like PFF got Olivier Vernon paid, bro.
He fell off a cliff after that.
Yeah,
Olivier who?
I agree.
But it happened.
It happened.
Can I pose a real question? What if Quiddy Pay does fall to us at 18, but Tevin Jenkins is there. What should we do?
You take the
considering
tackle. You take the tackle.
we take Tevin?
You take the tackle. You take the tackle. You take the tackle. Because our defense is there. That would be an extra luxury and something to help us.
Yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
He's right.
In the long run, if Arbor wants money, and which Arbor is going to want that bag, and I can't knock the brother.
Yeah.
Right.
Take the tackle. You have
And you can, in the edge class next year is deeper.
You have to take
And
you can get one later on, too. You can get one in the second.
And if you're picking in the top 10, you want to get the most return on your investment as soon as possible. Any of these edge guys, if you select them, I don't care at any point, they're not starting day one. They're not.
Right.
So again, I would be more inclined to lean towards tackle as well.
Boys,
so
would you man, let me throw you. If he didn't have his concussion issues, don't you think Jalen Phillips would be a no-brainer at 18?
Yeah, it's just that I don't know. He's
buddy. If he slips to 36, I'm running the card up, bro.
Yep.
I feel a little safe for taking him at 36. He's worthy of getting picked at 18.
Oh, bro, that guy is not only
for sure.
Oh,
Reason
not only
sure.
a freak, but his ability
for sure.
Roof,
I have a question about the edge that we're talking about. We're talking about replacing Lawson, essentially, right?
Yeah, because he played edge more than what Ogba played, right? If you go and look at the film, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah. He was a stand-up linebacker.
I think 4 sacks out of that position, I think, is an appropriate expectation, is what I'm trying to say.
I think Van Ginkel can give you that.
Yeah.
Oh,
or some
absolutely.
other form
clearly
combination, right?
I think Van Ginkel can flirt with like 8.
So let's say
But
we
I think-
draft. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Ryan. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
My thing is, this person that we're talking about drafting, are we expecting more than 4 sacks from them?
Well,
because if not,
you got to look at it like this, Rhino.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of individual sack total, that's not the priority of this defense.
No, setting the edge for Lawson. I understand that.
They don't individualize play. I think Ogba might be an anomaly. He might be the exception to the rule. But
he was,
but generally the approach to this defensive scheme, it's about scheming pressure. It's not about just, again, individualizing players and saying, look, we're relying on your athletic ability to impact the passer. No, that's
that's what I'm saying. I think you're 100% right. 9 from Ogba, 7 from Baker, 4 from Lawson.
Exactly. Collectively.
Yeah.
Right.
So do we really? I appreciate everything you guys are saying and the assessments you're making on these players, and I don't disagree because I'm half a freaking casual. Okay, but my thing is, no, it's true. But my thing is. Do we really need to pick someone that high to get? And even after everything you explained, do we really need to do that to get the 4 sacks and the setting the edge?
You're right, bro.
Because they're doing something on the defensive line, man. They signed a free agent. They brought Jenkins back. There's something going on here that we're missing that hasn't come to play yet. I just don't think edge. My personal view is I don't think edge is as high as we may think it is.
And you look at New England. In terms of edge players, again, just going on, not to bring up New England, but Flores, again, we know Flores' his background. Mm-hmm. New England was not a team that invested high on edge players traditionally.
Yeah.
So
true.
In terms of draft capital. So
yeah, McGinnis was probably the rarest of that.
And he was a Parcells pick.
Right.
Not Mike Vrabel was a
third round pick at Ohio State.
Right.
You look at Richard Seymour. Richard. Yeah.
Jamie Collins.
Richard Seymour was an interior guy. Chandler Jones was a third round pick. So
I think the reason why the reason why I'm stuck up on a guy like Azeez Ojulari,
right?
He's perfect scheme fit.
Yeah.
Same thing with Jalen Phillips. Jalen Phillips, you can both those guys. You can put their hands in the dirt as an end, or you can stand them up. They're perfect scheme fits. Kwity Paye, I see him more of an end and not an edge in this defense, right?
Okay.
He doesn't have a lot of experience standing up at Michigan, right?
True.
No, I see him more of as an end than an edge. Joseph Asai, perfect scheme fit. He can put him in the dirt, or he can stand him up.
Well,
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I would see if I can get one of those guys at 36.
And
I would agree.
And Damien, if you want to talk about a player that can organically create pressure, honestly, a guy that might fall to us a little bit later is like a Ronnie Perkins out of Oklahoma.
I love him, baby.
But
He's on my board.
He can generate
bro.
real organic pressure.
Oh, he's so good.
Right.
Oklahoma, baby.
And I'm not knocking that at all. This is the whole thing with what I'm worried about waiting, because we've been in that scenario last year. We was in that scenario last year with multiple positions, and it doesn't always fall that way.
Yeah, but in all fairness, Damien, we were kind of waiting on offensive positions, not defensive positions, right?
That is
like
true,
we took what, the third defensive tackle off the board, and that was at 56.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive end, defensive tackle, whatever you want to label Raekwon as. We took him. Javon and Derek Brown went in the first. He didn't come off the board till 56, and he was the third guy off the board.
I agree.
Technically, me and EM's top 3 literally went how the draft went.
Yep.
And I agree with y'all totally. I totally,
because it's not as sexy, right?
It's just I totally agree with what y'all saying. I totally agree with y'all saying about our scheme, how we scheme pressure and all those things. I get it 110%. My thing is just who we're chasing in this conference. In order to reach the top of the mountains, in order to beat a man, you have to beat the man. And I know with those two motherfuckers behind center, you have to get on their ass. You have to.
Yeah,
you
it's
have
true.
To make them feel
It's true.
uncomfortable.
It's fair.
But if you look at,
you can't approach them how you approach every other team. You can't
I agree.
approach them.
But if you look at Buffalo's rush totals, in particular that first game, bro, they were averaging like over 5 yards a carry, bro. 5 yards.
Like season though, that's exactly right. What EM's saying, buddy. If you go against any other team that they're rushing against, they were kind of garbage. Yet us, they were dicing up, and we could look at the Denver game. Look at the Denver game. Look at what Phillip Lindsay and Melvin Gordon were doing to it, bro. They didn't even need to lean on Drew Lock. They were just like, go run out and go kill him.
200 plus. Buddy, 200 plus.
We couldn't establish the run on offense in that game, and we couldn't stop the run on defense. It was like the biggest recipe for disaster. No wonder Tua had a bad game.
So this move a point where we don't need to look at drafting no darn corner. Let's get the nose and let's get the edge. We don't need that's our strength is the back end.
But you don't think they think?
Not at 18 though, Damon. You don't need a nose at 8. You're not gonna draft a nose tackle at 18.
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And let's be specific. You want a 2-down nose, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't want like my boy Alim McNeil, who's like a 3-down nose, right?
I need you on first and second down to either put a team in third and long.
That's Tyler Shelby.
They might believe Raekwon's that 3-down nose, right?
If you can push if you can put McNeil and do all 3 things and get after the quarterbacks too, then that's a plus. But I just need you on first.
Yeah, but we have 3 zero techs basically right now on the roster.
Yeah, you got 3 now. Yeah, you got
the rookie from last year.
You've got Benito Jones and you got Raekwon.
And that. Same thing with the running back position. We got all these guys, but do we have the guy? I just want to answer that.
Yeah, you're right.
Raekwon will be there.
Well, John Jenkins is legit, bro. He ain't, Vince Wilfork, but he's legit. He's, one of the better. Well, yeah. I'm saying that. I'm just talking about primarily from this year. So he's 30.
If we're gonna
he's
build
longer.
This thing, and that's what I'm saying. We're gonna build this thing. Let's get our young guys now to build this thing. So we can have a top 5 defense for the next 5 years.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, I think Benito Jones and
he's an undrafted free agent.
The guy from the Pats. I always forget his name.
Who was that?
The guy we got from the Pats, the nose tackle.
Oh, Adam Butler. Adam Butler. They didn't bring him in. He ain't playing zero in this defense. No.
He won't. He's 3 tech.
He was playing out of position anyway. So,
if I'm wrong, I will say I'm wrong. But right now, it sounds like the only thing we have, especially like the running back position, is a bunch of depth guys. It's a bunch of complimentary guys.
True.
We don't have the guy. And if I'm
I
wrong,
agree.
I'll admit I'm wrong because I love my dog.
Right.
I want to be wrong about that, just like MVP. I want to be wrong, but it seems
I
to
think
me we have a bunch of depth guys.
I think they're trying to develop Raekwon, considering the second half, the season that he had.
Not Raekwon. Not Raekwon.
Raekwon is playing zero right now.
I understand that, but we want him to play at that end. We want him to be that Richard Seymour where he can go.
Right. That's exactly what I was going to compare him to.
I'll say
and
this.
Get a Vince Wilfork. Yeah.
Christian Wilkins. That's his role. That's his role now. That's Christian Wilkins' role now.
To be on that end. We want both one to be right, one to be left, and we need that guy in the middle to be that Vince Wilfork that we don't have. So both of those guys.
I think me personally, I would want someone from a profile standpoint. I would want a zero that's more prototypical. A guy that's has that lower center of gravity. Because generally tall player, you don't see tall players at that position. But Raekwon proved he can be very good in that role last year. In particular, when he started to figure out how to play with leverage better. And I got a question for you, It just took him a little while to transition, just like any rookie, and he flourished in the second half of the season. So again, I would want someone more prototypical, but I think the Dolphins are more than happy with the production they got from him last year, and I think they want to continue to develop him there because now you bring in Adam Butler, and Adam Butler more likely is going to start. So I think the starting defensive front is going to be Raekwon initially. Raekwon, Christian Wilkins, and Adam Butler, and you have a more reliable zero in John Jenkins to come off the bench because he's 31. And I don't think they brought him in here to start. And he's a locker room guy. I think Raekwon, as well as Benito or whoever they opt to bring in through the draft, can learn a lot from him. So, and then you have Zach Sealer as well. So I think they're going to continue to develop Raekwon there.
And I hear totally what you're saying, but with Raekwon's height and his length, and for what we saw at Alabama, not his last year, but the year before last, his pass rushing ability, wouldn't he excel more on that end? And we had that guy. I like Raekwon. I said that from day one. I told Reason this when we got him. I said, bro, when we get him, we bring him in. I would much rather him playing a 3 or 5 because he has untapped potential in terms of the pass rush. But I'm just saying, I think what I saw last year, how stout he was consistently at setting that point, I was like, man, I was really, to look at him from the first game in New England, how horrible he looked, how Joe Thuney and David Andrews were just, David Andrews was just, it was
tag teaming. Yeah, it was.
And he got benched, and they benched him. And then for him to get reinserted back in the starting lineup and never lose his job, and you saw the incremental improvement from him. So I just think, again, I think ideally, I think that would maximize him. That will maximize him. But I think the Dolphins are, at this point, they like what they saw. They like the production they got from him, and they just want to continue to develop him there.
Now,
until Tyler Shelvin falls at 81, that's when the whole thing starts evolving.
And that'd be interesting. Yep. I think Raekwon's a beast, and I think he's a staple on this defense for the next 5 to 8 years. I just would like to get the most out of him, where he can really hit his pinnacle, and and I think that'll be better served at that position. But Raekwon is outstanding, man. He was. When you draft a player at 50 at that position, you're drafting a starter at that position. In that part of that second round, you're drafting to be a starter, and that's what that kid proved his rookie year.
He did.
That kid proved.
And not to get too far off the point, man. Because I'm still thinking about what Omar said about Pitts and Vernon Davis. Man, look. If you watch Vernon Davis tape at Maryland versus Pitts tape at Florida,
It's not even
Neither one is even close
Close.
to who's the better receiver.
Vernon Davis was a beast, though. He was a beast, though.
Duke a beast. That's my homeboy. We from the same neighborhood.
Right. Vernon
Yeah.
Davis was a beast, though. I will say that.
I love Vernon.
This is another level.
Right. That's all I'm saying.
This dude Pitts is Megatron. He's Megatron 2.0.
Megazord.
Megazord.
He's Optimus Prime.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a legit situation of if we take Kyle Pitts, he completely takes off so much pressure off of other players that we're seeking better play from. DVP, Will Fuller, Preston Williams. If Albert Wilson can come back in, Albert Wilson, it helps the offensive line. It helps the running backs. He's literally a pick where I'm saying to myself, even if we do trade back to number 4, which will be one of the funniest rewind moments of NFL history, going from 3 to 12 to 6 to 4. But if even if that happens, I'll still be like, okay, it is what it is, because that's the type of player Kyle Pitts can potentially be.
That Ole Miss game, oh my God.
Dominate.
If we get Optimus Prime, Tua's numbers over 30 tubs, and we will be seeing it in 4K. He will. I'm telling you, this offense will be lethal. Will Fuller taking the top off, and in the red zone, you might as well put up 6. And we got all 6-foot trees.
As far as picking weapons at 6, he's the best choice. There's no two ways about it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not close. It's not close.
Let's see, go up in Orchard Park and put up.
I agree.
With this defense that we have now, we will be
being nice.
Orchard Park and go round for round, blow for blow.
Ripple.
But
I will
Arrowhead and go blow for blow.
I will say this though in regards to Xavier Howard though. There has been absolutely nothing on the street in regards to Xavier Howard. And that's a major issue. There's something they have to. That's got to be a major issue. It has to be, because Howard would not hesitate to sit out games if he doesn't get what he wants. And man, again, there's absolutely nothing been on the street about that kid.
Iggy goes to, he becomes the second cornerback and hopes someone can play slot. I mean, at that point, what do you do?
But you gotta. Man.
Yeah.
I want, again. So I remain consistent. I don't want to get rid of X, but if he's not in that 3-year window, you got to move, bro. You got to move him. You have to. You know what I mean? This is the time you drafted a guy in the first round in Igbinoghene. Obviously, you have a high level of confidence in this kid's ability. So, man, you got to move him. You have to. You can't. I just don't want to be. They lock him up they add years on his contract or whatever, right? However, they restructure his deal and pay him more money, and then he fall off a damn cliff with knee injuries. That's a big risk. That's a legitimate conversation that needs to be had, considering his track record. And they already made him the highest paid corner in the league once. And then you're going to turn around and do it again twice in a 2-year span, 3-year span?
It's on the wire.
You got to move him, bro. You have to move him while his stock will never be this high.
I agree.
You got to move him. You have to.
If we're talking about business moves, we might have to.
Trainer with Dallas, get pick number 2.
I don't think.
Or to Denver.
I think his trade value. I don't think Jerry Jones will give up the 10th overall pick. I think his trade value is a late first or second round pick. That's what I think. And again, I'm trying to get more for him, but I'm just being realistic. You're talking about a player that you're going to have to pay, who's 28 going into next year, and has major durability issues.
Minnesota. He's indoors. Trade him in Minnesota. Minnesota, Arizona, top 14 or 15.
Arizona's a more likely spot since Patrick Peterson went to Minnesota this offseason. So
oh yeah, I forgot he
maybe.
did. Yeah, damn sure he did go to Minnesota. Go pull up,
Mhm.
Mark. Pull up.
I'm telling you, I always thought the Colts were a good.
No,
You know,
I don't
you know,
want to take
Xavier-
them in conference and we play them this year. I'd rather not. And they in the 20s too.
Yeah.
They're in the 20s, and I don't want to. I mean, if it comes down, I just don't want to add on that defense. They gonna, cause we got to play them this year.
21, you can add your running back.
That is true.
True.
That is true. Good point. Good
Yep.
point. Leslie.
True.
Yeah.
That
I don't wanna
actually
make
might
them
be the
better.
sweet spot.
I don't want to make
Now-
that. That's one of the teams.
Now we all know Jerry Jones to be a big time. He's a fool.
Yeah.
And he just might get caught up in that Xavier Howard hype train and say, "Look, Chris Greer, you can have the 10th overall pick. Chris Greer needs to fly, bro. He needs to. And if he calls him up and offers him that 10th pick, bro, there's no hesitation.
Yeah.
You shouldn't.
No hesitation at all. Put Noah
That'll
out
be
there.
so wild.
Noah, you got to earn your stripes just like everybody else. You got to get this pressure too, just like Tua and everybody else.
Who do we get at 10 if that happens, bro?
Oh God.
Parsons.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh man.
Parsons.
And what
You take Parsons.
and what if Trey Lance is there? What if Trey Lance is sitting there at 10? And some
trade
team
back.
wants to trade up.
Oh,
Some
then
team
you get
wants to
more.
trade
Yeah.
up.
Oh my goodness.
I don't think he gets past Carolina.
Mhm.
But what if Penei Sewell is there at 10 and you've taken Pitts at 6?
Oh, you.
Oh, that's a
The draft.
no-brainer.
Mm.
No. Yeah,
Deal.
there ain't nothing to talk about. There's nothing to talk about. No, you run that in, bro.
And
You run that
Xavier
in.
Howard was a part of the Laramie Tunsil draft too, right? 2016.
Who was? I'm sorry.
Second round.
Xavier Howard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yep.
Yeah.
Second round pick. Yep, he was.
2016 is a very important year, people, for the
It's
Miami Dolphins.
38th pick, I think.
Mhm.
That's a very important. That was
Oh,
that
yeah.
was the year we went to the playoffs. That was the year we were about to tank for Deshaun Watson. That was like 2016 is a very important year for the Miami Dolphins, bro. We might have to do this. We might have to do a rewind about
No, not
2016.
No Adam Gates. No Adam Gates.
No. Forget about the coaching. I'm talking about like player
yeah.
acquisitions and what actually happened. You know what I mean?
I wanted to ask you guys about the news that broke earlier, and it's that statement on behalf of the Miami Dolphins players, and it says our team came together to discuss the current situation regarding COVID-19 and the lack of clear and timely protocols put into place by the NFL. The most significant fact from the discussion was the health and safety benefits of a fully virtual offseason. Last year, league-wide injury data showed players experienced a 23% reduction in missed time. For these reasons, the Miami Dolphins stand in solidarity with players across the league who are making the informed decisions to exercise their right to not attend voluntary in-person workouts this offseason. We will hold each other accountable in making sure every player is getting their work in. Fins up.
This may be the wave of the future.
I respect
right
that.
here.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Because you should see what they like. They just locked down playgrounds up here. There's talk that they're gonna try and put in a curfew up here too.
Dang.
What? Really?
Third wave, right? They're saying third wave for you guys.
Yeah.
I hope you guys
The-
get
this
it.
Bra-
Not
this-
again, man.
Stay
Braz-
safe up there,
the
Reese.
Brazilian variant up here is rolling through.
Wow.
So
Safe up there, bro.
Well, I'm hearing, man, that that another lockdown might be coming here at stateside, bro.
Mhm.
You know, and man, bro.
Exactly. Man, bro.
I'm so sick of this damn COVID-19 nonsense, bro. I'm telling you, bro. I don't know what to do. Man. But it's what it is. 2021.
well, and look at after the Buffalo Bills just announced that they'll be back to full capacity, but you have to have a vaccine to attend games.
Yeah. I had that card saying,
Good for them. Good for them.
So
Yeah, they can keep that.
because that's a big
not
controversy going on right now about people taking the vaccine and people not taking the vaccine.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not fooling with it. No, I'm big COVID free. There's no need for me to take anything. I'm good. So, I'm not messing with it.
And I think they're promoting the vaccine a little bit too much nowadays. I'm not sure why. Well, obviously the pandemic in itself is a real issue, and it's been a global, issue. But the promotion of vaccines shouldn't be the definitive answer versus the promotion of just common sense
and social distance and wearing a mask.
Right. That'll be more of a push of a promotion I would use versus the vaccine. So I'm not too sure about why the vaccine is being thrusted upon us like this. But me in particular, I understand why people want to rush to the vaccine, but if there's still variants that are intensifying in different strands, I wouldn't take any vaccine just yet, because the more vaccines you take, the more susceptible your immune system will potentially be to weakening, to where no matter what virus comes inside of you, whether it be COVID or even the regular flu, your immune system can be at risk. So I'm being very mindful about these vaccines and stuff. I rather just promote social distance and just good health.
I don't even get flu vaccines. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bro, I rarely get sick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like I can't even tell you the last time I've had like the flu. I mean, like the full-blown flu.
I've never had it.
I can't tell you the last time, but I took the flu vaccine one time. It was like in 2014, I believe. Guess what? I got sick. I mean, like, I got sick, and I was like, what the hell? And then I said, you know what? I'm not taking it again. I haven't gotten sick since. So, but no, I'm not. No, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm with you, man.
So,
I take my second shot on Monday.
I take mine May 6th.
Nice.
But to each his own, I mean,
I know.
Yeah, I'm not going to force anyone to take a damn vaccine.
Hey, do your thing, man. Do your thing.
Yeah. This is freaking America, bro.
Yeah, that's all I
say.
Let's protect each other.
It's like picking a religion, It don't matter what you do. But
for me, I didn't want to take it, but I just cannot stay away from my family anymore, dude. I can't freaking take it.
Man, I can't.
I had enough of it. I'm like, the hell with this.
But I ain't knocking nobody. Just mask up and social distance.
Yeah. Do your thing. Do your thing, man.
I'm with y'all, man.
I'm going to the Dolphin game though.
Hopefully this does not affect too much as far as how they do the operations this off season, because again, selfishly speaking, I would love Tua and this entire offense to touch bases with each other early, because again, we are trying a co-offensive coordinator system for the first time in Dolphins history, and this is going to be the first time Flores has this implemented. It's going to be imperative that all the players are on the same page when bullet starts flying on Sunday. So I hope this new report with the NFLPA and the players, I hope it doesn't hinder
can't tell you why it won't, Mark. Can't tell you why I don't think it will, because last year was the first time they had to set it up. They had to get everyone comfortable with it. Now it's like going to an online class, for these guys. It's easy. They're used to it. They have their favorite chair they may sit on. Last year they didn't know what the hell their favorite chair was. Little things like that add up, So this is not the first time. So I think it'll go a lot better.
Okay,
Good point,
Rhino. Fingers crossed, though, man. Because again, it's not going to be coming from me, but there's a lot of people that are looking at this as a make or break season for Tua, which is unfortunate, but it's the reality of this NFL that we're in right now. Yeah. And I just want the organization and the players to really line this kid up for any type of jump in success coming into this year, because I believe Tua is going to be the Dolphins quarterback to get us in the Super Bowl, bro. I believe that he has the first of all, he has the mental makeup for it, and I believe just off of what he's been through, what he stands for, he deserves to be the one to do that for us. So I'm rooting for him.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think this is going to be a huge year for Tua. Huge. I like the approach that the Dolphins are. They're giving him support, all the support he needs. There are still some question marks offensively, just up front. And I don't think it's a major question mark, but there is some uncertainty about the running back room. But other than that, offensively, and we're anticipating what they bring in with the draft. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot of support for Tua. Last year, those issues with players separating, getting open, drops, et cetera, that should be a distant memory. So, but this, again, like you said, unfortunately, this is the nature of the NFL. And if what this front office has shown us, and I think their approach to the offseason, entertaining Deshaun Watson, I think they sent a direct message to Tua Tagovailoa. Look, you got to get it done. Period.
Can I say something about that? Not about Watson, but about any quarterback. I remember 1994 or 93. I can't remember exactly what year it was. Reno got hurt.
Oh, yeah,
Scott Mitchell came in. Okay, Scott Mitchell came in, played good, and there's talks about replacing Marino. Okay, and that was serious talk. Okay,
8-8.
Any quarterback, in my opinion, is one bad year from being replaced. So why should it be any different for Tua? I'm 100% with you, and that's fair. But when you're a rookie, you should at least get more than 9 games though before you make that choice. That's all I'm going to say.
I agree 100%. And I think again, like I said, I think they sent a direct message to him. They want, because I think they really like Tua. Everything about him. It's just that, again, he just haven't proved he hadn't shown that consistency enough of that for them to fall in love with him at this point.
The most unfortunate thing about Tua being drafted to the Miami Dolphins is Justin Herbert being drafted to the LA Chargers. And the only thing I will say about that is when we're speaking on, Tua 5, Herbert 6, taking it into context, Tua inherited a new team, a new coach, a new everything. Justin Herbert was just almost like an Andrew Luck situation. He literally got plugged into an environment and in an offensive system to where you literally had to plug and play him. If Herbert did not perform at the level he did last year with those type of weapons, Herbert would have been called a bust. In my opinion, I'm talking about when you have a Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Hunter Henry, Eckler, the offensive line, it was littered with just guys that can protect you. When you have that type of stuff around you, it's almost next to impossible not to be successful. However, with Tua just, he inherited three rookies starting on the offensive line. He inherited a team that did not want to see Ryan Fitzpatrick get benched. He inherited an offensive coordinator that did not want to expand the playbook with him. It was everything was stacked against Tua for him to be put into successful situations. And I'm just I'm a little taken aback by when fans cannot put into context and differentiate one situation from the other and just say, well, he played poorly and we need to move on. It's like
casual fans,
right? It's frustrating to see that, but
context needs to be inserted in a lot of people's lives these days. That's all I have to say.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Tua will be fine. He'll be fine, but at the end of the day, you just gotta, I want, all this chatter that's been going on all off season about him and what he is or what he isn't or what he's not going to be, what he's not going to become. If we're hearing that, he's hearing that. All of this Deshaun Watson talk, So he knows that. But I just hope I told Reed, we talked about this earlier. You know, he's going to be under immense pressure. And last year was not the pressure cooker. This year it is. Because they're tailor-made. The offense is constructed around his skill set. Look at the support that they brought in for him. And another offseason of physical training, getting stronger, getting bigger. Hopefully that hip is no longer an issue, or definitely as much as an issue as it was in particular the second half of the season. You know, they're telling him. And on top of that, you got to win. So the pressure the heat is on, and you got to get it done. They've shown, the staff has shown that train wait for nobody. For nobody.
I'm with
Either
you.
you are going to get it done, or we're going to get somebody in here that will.
And it should be that way. It should be that way, period.
And again, that should be the approach of any coach.
Yes.
Of any coach. Tua is not immune to that. So
for me, and I'm not talking about you, the 9-game stuff is what had me upset. People making all these judgments, that's just ridiculous, man.
Oh, absolutely.
And
it's not like he bombed. It's not like he bombed in the 9 games. It'd be one thing if we saw Josh Rosen in the 9 games, but we never saw that. Never. I didn't.
And it was technically 7 full games and then 2 games where he was sat down. So I mean, people need to, you know, let's be real. Let's be a little more realistic here, if we can.
But I think I think Tua will be fine. You'll have these fans out here. We'll be sitting here 11. We'll be sitting here 10-2, bro. And Tua won't be putting up the gaudy numbers, and we will still have a good portion of this fan base complaining. He should be. I'd rather have him throw 40 touchdowns and we go 2-15.
I know.
They want him to be on their fantasy team, bro. It's all about the fantasy team.
It's ridiculous. So I'm going to do my best this year to ignore a lot of these fools, bro, to be honest with you. I'm going to do my best. I can't promise I'm going to be able to do that. But I'm going to do my best to do that. So, but yeah, in all seriousness, I think Tua's going to be fine, bro. I think this team is too strong. They have too much on both sides. Now, again, there's some question marks, but I just think this team is poised to do some special things this year. And, a lot of it's going to depend and fall on the shoulders of Tua Tagovailoa. It is. It's just what it is.
I know.
So,
let's try not to fall into the trap of trolling Chargers fans when things start getting better for us and worse for them, because it's not wise to stoop to their level, man. Because I've seen it. I've seen what they've done. I've seen what they do. Let's take that high road, bro.
And see, I never was getting into the whole Herbert Tua deal, bro. You can be respectful of both players. You know what I mean?
They're both gonna be good.
Yeah. They're both, bro. Yeah. You can be respectful of both players.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be anti one and pro the other, bro. Just know, respect the game. Respect both of their games. You know what I mean? And, it's good. You don't have to be all of that nonsense on Twitter where people tweeting out, oh, Herbert, they're on a week-to-week basis. Tua did this, Herbert did this, or Herbert did this, and Tua did this. Stop it, man. Stop that. That's a bunch of nonsense. Are we in 5th grade or what? You know what I'm saying?
Third.
So it's nonsense, bro. Just be respectful that we're seeing special play. We're seeing special play early on. Good quarterback play early on. Just be respectful. Period.
Pyro said, "Nah, I'm stupid to their level." I know Pyro's he's gonna be trolling, bro.
That's what it is. The tour is gonna be fun. I'm telling you, man. I just cannot. I just want to get the draft over with, get to training camp. God damn it, get to the first game.
Yeah.
I just cannot wait. Cannot wait.
I'm ready too, man.
Yeah. Damien, you quiet over there, man. What's going on? You sleep or what?
Oh no, I'm on just looking at Twitter, listening to all the great takes, man. Soaking it all in.
That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's
Soaking
up.
it all in, man.
So yeah, real quick, let's touch on. I want to bring up. I heard y'all talk about the running back position. So all of y'all are not. Yeah, well, I guess it's safe to say y'all are not comfortable where we're at.
No, not yet.
Okay.
No, I think it needs to be addressed in the draft because they didn't address it in free agency. That's for sure.
Yeah. I hear you. And that's legit.
But I also think part of me says to myself that they may be comfortable with what they have.
And to be honest, I actually like Myles Gaskin. The only thing is, how are we going to address the running game, meaning offensive line or running back? If we get the right offensive lineman to complete this offensive line, then I would still like to see Myles Gaskin get the nod as a starter. But if the offensive line has not been addressed coming out of round one, we cannot play around with the running back position and just have it up to Myles Gaskin trying to be the feature guy when I don't think he's built to be a feature guy with this type of offensive line. But if you get the right offensive line prepared for him, I think he can emerge as a one RB1 for now. But I still think a running back needs to be addressed in this draft, whether it be day 1, 2, or 3. So that's me.
Yeah, I mean, I can't offer much pushback. With that, again, I might be a little higher on Myles Gaskin, but yeah, I think, because if they are comfortable with Ahmed and as well as Gaskin, what do you have behind them? Patrick Laird,
Ahmed,
you got Jordan Scarlett,
Brown,
DeAndre Washington. So
I do like Daw, but not that much.
Yeah, but I don't want not in the first round. I just don't want to run it back. That's just not how I do things. I don't want to run it back in the first round. It's proven if one position is proven that you can find big time gems later in the draft, it's that position.
Running back, yes.
I just don't want it. I don't want one in the first round, but they might, with their additional capital, man. This is a year where they can do, you can make that investment. You know what I mean? Because of the surplus. But me personally, man, I just don't. I would rather not. I try to avoid that at all costs.
Right.
Especially now, if you're gonna trade down from 18, I don't know, man. I just don't want one in the first round. It's just me. So.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, man. We got to just build smart. It's best to build smart.
Yeah, well, I mean, Ahmed is undrafted. I mean, we found Myles Gaskins in the 7th round.
Yeah.
We found Van Ginkel, who's going to take a significant. We're talking about Tua. We're talking about Raekwon Day. We're talking about all these other players taking a significant leap this year. Van Ginkel should be at the top of that list as well. 5th round pick. So they've proven again. I have the utmost of confidence. I think I have more confidence in this staff hitting on later round gems than I do first round gems, round players.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
that's why I keep comparing this team to like the Seahawks. You know what I mean? Like the way the Seahawks built their 2013 Super Bowl team, which is one of my favorites of all time. That 2010 draft, that 2011 and 2012 draft, if you look back at their Super Bowl roster and see all those players that came in through those drafts, and obviously they made some trades for like Michael Bennett and Cliff Averill, to have some book, or like how Damien says, organic pass rushers. Like it's important to make those type of moves as well. But let me tell you, man, when you can build throughout the draft, and you can hit on these late picks, like for instance, a Van Ginkel, even Raekwon, which is not technically a late pick, but it's after the first round. When you can find guys like that and just plug, and fill in all these holes and gaps, and then lay that last slab of cement on the building blocks of what you're doing for the team. Now you're talking about all coaching, all coaching and getting these guys to believe that they can actually compete and win in difficult situations, like going to Kansas City or Buffalo. So trust me, man, like how you're saying, this draft coming up, important, very important. So I'm ready. I'm ready, man. Buckle up.
Big year.
Yes,
Big year. Big year.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah,
right.
I'm just
Go ahead.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I'm
Owning
No,
a fool
no.
on Twitter, bro. That guy I told you.
you was locked in, bro. I thought
I know.
your screen was
This
full.
guy,
know,
this
right?
this guy works for the Sun Sentinel, but he's out here trying to disprove Tua. I'm like,
Oh no,
bro, you're an absolute like. You can go literally check this. I just ended up blocking him because I'm like, yo, you're literally throwing shit at walls, hoping it sticks right now. Like literally, bro. He's like, oh, Gesicki and DVP and Williams are some of the best vertical separators. I'm like, bro, they averaged 1.7 yards per separation per route run. What are you even talking about right now?
Yeah, that's what I said. They're the best.
Like, what are you?
Ridiculous.
You said he
Bro.
worked for the Sun Sentinel?
Yeah, some guy, Steve Savekis. He's like a editor or something like that. Bro, I said, yo, is this your first time? He's like, why could Fitzpatrick produce more with the same cast? I'm like, are we really having this conversation of why a 15-year vet compared to a rookie who can pick up disguises is better pre-snap and post-snap at the line of scrimmage than any rookie in the league could be more effective with the same cast? I literally said, are you new to this sport?
That's why I'm always disappointed to hear like Joe Taylor's takes. I'm like, come on, Joy, you smarter than that.
Yeah, but you know what the thing is?
Well,
you know what the thing is? First of all,
I'm giving Joy a pass.
Joy's sexy.
I'm giving Joy a pass.
She's the goddess of
I don't know about y'all, but Joy can say whatever the hell.
Yeah, I know.
Joy can say whatever the hell she wants to say.
That's just
But here's
wild.
the thing. Let's be honest with ourselves. Here's the thing. Here's where the misconception comes in. Just because you work on FS1 or ESPN doesn't mean you can't be a casual.
That's right.
True.
Yeah. You think Joy Taylor can come up here with me and EMdolphinfan and start breaking down schematics and we pull up tape and start
First of all,
you think she can do that? Yo, Colin Coward couldn't even do that, bro. And he's
She
all
came
over
on the
him.
show. You couldn't even remember how to call a play, bro.
She can try. She's more than welcome to try, bro.
Please come on the show.
Bro.
I'll walk her through anything she's cloudy on, bro.
Hey. When she tweeted back at me, my heart skipped a beat. All right. But I'm just sitting here saying that's my whole issue, right? Like, just because you see them in the media doesn't mean they're not casuals, bro.
Yeah.
They're good at delivering their information they're given, and that's that.
That's true. That's true.
Like they literally sit there. You know, you want to talk about Skip or Colin? They literally sit there in their morning meetings before they go live on TV, and they have a bunch of interns feeding them stats and analytics. They're not sitting there skimming through it, being like, "Oh, yo, let me figure it out." No, if you've watched any of those pre-production meetings, that like they've literally put them out there for the herd. Like people are feeding them stuff, bro. Keep this. They're like, "This is the narrative I want to spin."
The producers
help me find stuff that I can spin it with, and then they go out and they find it for them, bro.
Yeah,
but don't worry, I forgive. Don't worry, Joy. I forgive you. I forgive you.
It's just like, why do you think I showed Dan Orlovsky and Kurt Warner so much respect? They actually went there and broke down film.
Exactly.
A lot of these people that are speaking on Tua, they don't, they pull up highlight packages that their intern made to fit their narrative. It's like this. I'm not saying they're not good at the job, and I'm not saying whatever. Mel Kiper. You really think Mel Kiper sits there and watches 260 prospects? No. He watches a certain number, but he gets fed a lot from interns and producers and people working, bro.
Absolutely.
Like this is like they don't, because you know what? It's not a matter of if for a guy like Mel Kiper. I'm not saying he can't. It's a matter of he doesn't have the time to do that.
Exactly.
Say that again.
So, you know what I mean? Like he works at and goes on all these different shows for like 6-8 hours a day. He comes home, you think he wants to sit there and start watching film or spend time with his family?
Mm-hmm.
Say that again.
Yeah.
Shout out to Joy Taylor. I love you, baby.
Yeah.
But again, this Tua is not.
I forgive
talk
you.
is
I forgive you.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Tua is literally a rookie quarterback that's coming off one of the most catastrophic injuries to end a college career ever.
And he still had a better rookie season than Sam Darnold and Josh Allen and Jarrett Stidham. All that just
But she said he was a franchise quarterback after the Arizona game. That's the part that blows my mind. It's
everybody backtracked.
Yes.
Yeah, but you know why? Because the only other national broadcast they got was the Oakland game.
Yeah.
You say that, and then 3 weeks later, you're saying
I don't understand why. I don't see how Colin flip-flopped so quick.
I can tell you why.
You know,
I can tell you why.
He was banging the table for Tua pre-draft.
That's why. And Herbert did better, and he's backing the hell out. It's all about his perception, how he thinks people sees him. That's all it's about with him.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
Bro, I'm gonna laugh under a new coaching staff, a defensive-minded coach, no Pep Hamilton, no Anthony Lynn. If this guy regresses a little bit, I'm gonna sit back. I'm not gonna sit there and say, "Oh, two was better," but I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna be like, "Yo, this is why you don't jump the gun."
Mm-hmm. And a year's worth of film,
bro. Hey, I know it was injuries. RG3 won the Rookie of the Year and tore the league apart. How did that work out compared to Andrew Luck?
Say that again.
You know. These same people, I would have loved to hear their takes off Peyton Manning after year one when the guy threw more interceptions than touchdowns. How foolish do they look? And I bring back, Tua was benched. Well, John Elway was benched for 3 games. And the only reason he came back in is because the guy who replaced him got hurt. And he had a mediocre rookie season. So what? They should have moved off John Elway. How foolish would the Denver Broncos have looked if they would have moved off John Elway because they benched him in his rookie season?
The Bucs moved off of Young. Boy, they look smart.
Oh yeah, and they stayed in mediocrity till what's his
2002,
face?
2001.
Brad Johnson.
No, yeah, but what's the
Gruden?
No, what was the
Tony Dungy? They got relevant.
No, yeah.
No.
The black quarterback that played for them.
Doug Williams.
Sean King.
Sean King.
You know what I mean? They didn't go to the playoffs, so they had Sean King, bro. They went to the second round. Didn't they lose in the second round?
No, they lost in the NFC Championship.
They did a greatest show on turf.
They held under 20 points. That defense held the greatest show on turf under 20 points. That defense was outstanding.
It was that Ricky Pro caught that. Ricky Pro
game winner,
winning touchdown.
Yeah, that was a hell of a game, man. That was a
hell of a game. It was.
That was a hell of a game.
I think, I'll tell you, I think, the Rams, I think they underachieved, bro. That team was poised to be one of the more.
But then the Patriots happened. That's the only time I ever thought the NFL was rigged. 9/11 happened, and the Patriots.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
I was like,
we were like, man, come on, man, it's gotta be real.
But here's another. Let's talk about another left-handed quarterback. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did the Vikings not trade or get rid of Frank Tarkenton after his first couple years? He goes and he balls out, comes back, and brings the Vikings back to prominence.
I didn't even know that.
Frank Tarkenton, yeah.
Bro.
Fran with the 4
Hey, do you know that there's only one NFL team that the NFL has helped build their stadium, and that's New England.
Oh, I believe it. Bob Kraft
and that's right before they went on their run. That's all I'm gonna say.
And they're proven cheaters, so makes sense.
And they had players limping up to get a timeout when they shouldn't be getting a timeout.
There is no way. And again, I think if Dick Vermeil was the coach as opposed to Mike Martz, they don't lose that Super Bowl.
Good point. Great point.
Great point. I don't know. I mean, because Belichick had the perfect game plan. Roughed them up. Tom Lawyer, Malloy, all them boys. They played them physical. But
what EM saying about Dick Vermeil is Dick Vermeil was a seasoned coach. I think Dick Vermeil would have saw that after the first quarter. I think Bill Belichick knows exactly what we're doing. He's going to make adjustments, and then obviously the greatest show on turf is going to show up.
But this is my pushback to that. that same Dick Vermeil team 2 years ago was up on Tennessee 16-0. And a Jeff Fisher-led team came all the way back and was a yard away from sending that team
but we do remember
that was a good team
Steve
too.
McNair, and Eddie George kind of took over.
Exactly.
They had a very good defense.
Exactly.
Frank Wycheck, the freak. What's the kid name?
Javon Curse.
Oh, Javon Curse.
Yeah.
That offensive line was stout, bro.
Yeah.
That offensive line was stout.
Matthews, Bruce Matthews, at offensive line.
Yeah.
Even though he was still stellar. Yeah. I mean, it was a great team.
That Tennessee, that was a talented team, man. You know, very talented team. But yeah, I think they, because that team was poised to be.
They should have won.
Yeah,
they should have been a dynasty. They could have won.
They should have been.
They were 18-point favorite.
Oh my goodness!
Only time that an 18-point favorite lost the Super Bowl was them and the Baltimore Colts against the Jets in Super Bowl III. The only two times that ever damn happened.
Wow.
And and the New England Patriots again against the damn Giants. They were like 17, I believe. But yeah, that type of favorite to lose. Yeah. That's
you can make a lot of money. You can make a lot of money.
Yeah. But looking at it now, looking back on it now, that Patriots defense was stellar.
It was
stellar.
Stout.
Brewski,
Law.
Yeah. McGinnis.
What, Seymour Young on that team? I'm not mistaken. We might have got him.
Was Buckley involved in that then too? Was it Buckley too?
I don't think Seymour was
yeah,
on
but
it.
Terrell Buckley was
on
there.
that team.
Yeah.
Those are two corners. Malloy is safety. They were pretty stout defensively, and they had a running
and earlier that year, St. Louis beat them in Foxborough. Earlier that year, beat them in Foxborough, and that I remember they interviewed Belichick. Well, it was I think it was Belichick, and
Jim Fiedler gave him the division.
He said that he figured out a lot on how to defend him based off that first game, and they didn't adjust. Bill Belichick came up with a game plan, and he was anticipating them to change somewhat of what they did, but they never did. They basically played the same game they played the first game. And so that's why I said, to your point, I think Dick Vermeil would have been better in game than Mike Martz. And
no question.
I believe so.
They played right into Bill Belichick's hands. Played right into it. Played the exact same game, blueprint-wise, play call-wise, the whole nine that they played in Foxborough.
But, this is the thing also, Em, the game that we just talked about. Tony Dungy kind of laid a blueprint on how to defend them. Even though they ran that cover too, bothering them, they were very physical. Lynch and all those guys, they were very physical with them. And that kind of laid a blueprint for how to defend that. And they kind of laid a blueprint for that in that Super Bowl. People don't give them credit for that.
In Tampa, that Tampa Bay team, Simeon Rice is one of the more underrated pass rushers, I think, historically. You had him coming off the edge. You had Sapp. Sapp was absolutely unblockable on the interior. And that game, in my opinion, what made it close was the battle up front. Tampa Bay was clearly winning in the trenches, clearly. And, Warner couldn't get comfortable. And that cover two, again, you got safety help. No, you're not going to get beat deep. And that scheme is designed to attack the back third of the field, to beat you deep. And so, again,
Derek Brooks, best linebacker.
Their speed at linebacker, and
Rondé Barber.
Rondé Barber. They had a good, again, that's one of the better defenses we've ever seen.
And so, you know what? That's the thing that
they just didn't have enough offensively.
Yeah, but you know what, though, Ian? From you mentioning those things that the Tampa Bay defense, boy, and I know we run a totally different, it's totally different, but just looking at great defenses, at every level of the defense, they have one standout player. That's what I want us to have. I believe we got it in linebacker McKinney. I believe ABG is that dude. I believe Auburn can be that dude. It's just I think Auburn going to want that bag. That's why I want another player. because I think that's all we missing. I think Raekwon has the potential though to just have at all three levels of that defense at least have one. I'm not talking about all of them. We don't have to have. I'm not talking about all pro, but at least have a perennial Pro Bowler. Somebody always in that crowd. And I think that's the only thing we're missing. That's being special.
That's why I'm sorry. Go ahead, Elvin.
Yeah, that's why I keep bringing up the Seahawks and how they assembled their team. Look, when you think about the Seahawks defense, man, the number one player that comes to my mind, obviously people want to say like Richard Sherman, because he was very vocal, or even Earl Thomas because he came off the screen a lot as far as just making impact plays. But Cam Chancellor was one of those players, bro.
That was a heart and soul.
I was like, oh my goodness, if we could have this type of player. So again, if the Dolphins can find a way to get that type of player, not necessarily talent wise, not necessarily, I mean, just a guy back there that you can clearly say, okay, this is the heart and soul of our defense. That's when we're gonna start seeing a Super Bowl contending team, because right now defensively, like how Ian was describing, schematically we create certain things to where we can bring pressure in, and we have a really solid secondary that can provide sufficient enough coverage to where we can generate those type of pressures from the scheme. But we still don't have, like my favorite safeties, Sean Taylor, Brian Dawkins. We don't have a Rodney Harrison. We need that type of player back there to let it be known, like, you are not getting past this last line of defense. And Cam Chancellor was that guy for the Seahawks, if you ask me.
Ed Reed, one of the best ever.
Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu, like we just don't have that yet. So once. Yeah, go ahead.
Sanders. No, I was just gonna throw out Bob Sanders. You know he was.
Bob Sanders.
Bob Sanders for about a 3-year window. Yeah. He was the best safety in football.
Agreed.
No, arguably top 5 best defensive player of the year. He won defensive player of the year one year.
He did. He did. That was in 2007, I think.
That was very disappointing for me how his career got cut short, bro. He was on a Hall of Fame. He was definitely on a Hall of Fame trajectory.
He used to launch himself in the players, man. He would risk his own safety. God,
agreed, man.
Something like that, man.
Who would y'all say? Who would y'all say right now is the heart and soul of this defense?
Christian Wilkins. He doesn't stand out.
Xavier Howard.
Things for me. Xavier Howard. That's a good.
I'm gonna say Bobby McCain. I'm gonna say Bobby McCain.
No, you're not, Rhino. No, you're not, Rhino.
I'm talking about.
I'm gonna say about to be. It's about to be McKinney.
But
sure.
But I'm talking about emotionally. I'm not talking about talent wise. I'm not saying that.
Yeah. The emotional leader.
I'm just kidding, Rhino. I'm just tripping.
But you're right. Hell no, not.
I would say right now, I would say Xavier Howard.
He's the best player on the defense.
He's the best player. He's the best player.
He also leads by example too, though, right?
He does. Yeah. One thing about X, you will never question this man's work ethic. You can never do that. Right. And Flores has proven, if you're willing to work, if you're willing to put the work in, they'll be patient with you. What he cannot tolerate is, somebody not making football, and a person that doesn't, has, if the work ethic is lacking, he will absolutely not tolerate that. So with X, you can't question that man's dedication to his craft. You can't. So I could see it's just and I don't want to get rid of X, bro. I don't. I want these corners. I want us to be at full strength and hitting the ground running from the first game of the season. Yeah. And I think for us to be special, Xavier Howard's going to be a big part of that. But man, it's just like, but you have to sit, you got to have that conversation about him, man. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting along with the draft. But that Xavier Howard situation, we all need to be keeping our ear to the ground and paying close attention and monitoring what's going on there, bro. Because I think
he's a big piece, man.
He is, and so we'll see how that unfolds. But Noah he looks phenomenal. But again,
he's looking good.
I'm not falling into that.
Yeah, Grant taught me not to workout warriors. I don't follow that anymore.
I'm not falling into that Jakeem Grant. Every damn year we see them damn Jakeem Grant videos. Every damn year. No, I'm not falling to that. I'm about to see it on the field, bro.
I'm with you.
So
all right, boys. We just hit 3.5 hours. Let's go through some final thoughts here because I know we're probably still going to keep this up backstage. So, Martin, let's get your final thoughts, bro.
Yeah, final thoughts. I truly believe that if we address whatever we need to address in this draft, we're creating a scenario where we're going to position ourselves in Super Bowl contention for the next 2 seasons, guaranteed. And I hope we address everything that we know we need to address, and other places where we miss. I hope the guys that we have available on our team now just finds ways to fill in that void and make sure that we're there's not too many leaks in the ship. So, let's see what happens moving forward. I can't wait to the draft and fins up.
Rhino, let's get your final thoughts.
Just fins up, guys. I can't believe we're 12.5 days away from the draft, and it's probably going to be the longest 12.5 days, but fins up, man.
Damien, let's get your final thoughts, buddy.
Great show as always. Man, looking forward to the draft. I'm comfortable at number 6. I think we can't go wrong there, but I'm nervous about number 18 and possibly 36. But I have faith in my front office, so I'm leaving it to them. I'm just a fan that's a little bit nervous, but I believe in the front office, and I think in the next 3 years it's gonna all be worth it. Fins up.
Fins up.
Let's get your final thoughts, buddy.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, always a pleasure, man, to be up on a panel with such great minds in this Dolphin community, and got a lot of respect for everybody on this panel, man. I love just talking football with y'all, man, and shout out to everybody in the comments, everybody that continues to support this platform, because y'all already know Reason does an absolutely phenomenal job in terms of his content, and that cannot be disputed, period. Nope. So at the end of the day, but yeah, I'm with y'all, man. I'm just eagerly anticipating the draft. It can't get here soon enough for me. I'm just ready for the draft to get here so we can quickly transition to training camp and get the season on. Because again, I think this team, I think Tua Tagovailoa, I think this team overall is poised to do some great things this year, and just can't get here soon enough, bro. All this draft talk is, it's I get lightheaded, bro, because I'm just like, man, it's just, man, it's just, evaluations, and I mean, man, the draft just needs to freaking get here, bro, and it's gonna be the longest, probably 12 days of the year. But I don't know. With that being said, all day, every day, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what time. Y'all always know what time it is. Fins up, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hit that like and hit that subscribe button. And guys, I'll be back next week. I'll be dropping my my center big board next week. And remember, if you go into the community tab right now, you can vote on either offensive tackle, linebacker, safety, or corner for the 5th and final big board that'll be released the week of the draft. But until then, you already know what time it is. It's Fins Up all day, every day. We'll see y'all next week.